From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives, and give us a call, 208-991-4783. If you've not already, I encourage you to pick up a copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know, I Learned from Columbo. In that book, we take a look at 7 great detectives of radio, television, and literature, including Sherlock Holmes, Father Brown, Nero Wolfe, and Monk, and examine life lessons that can be garnered from their cases. It is available for the Nook, for the Kindle, and for the iPad, and if you've got some other sort of ebook reader, you can go to smashwords.com to purchase your copy. Also, if you do have the Kindle, I encourage you to try out our articles. I write regular articles about old-time radios, golden age detectives, classic films, and you can have those delivered right to your Kindle when I write the article. And you can try the service out free for 2 weeks. Just put in Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. And now it's time for today's episode of Frank Race, The Adventure of the Garrulous Bartender.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Tom Collins. The war changed many things, the face of the earth and the people on it. Before the war, Frank Race worked as an attorney, but he traded his law books for the cloak and dagger of the OSS. And when it was over, his former life was over, too. Adventure had become his business. The Adventures of Frank Race. And now we join Frank Race for the adventure of the Garrulous Bartender.
There's something about having a date with a redhead that causes a man to spend an extra 5 minutes with his razor. Take a little more time in choosing a tie and maybe giving himself a last look in the mirror just before he's ready to go. Which is just what I was doing when...
Hey, I was wondering if you'd be here. I've been trying to get hold of you all... My, don't the man look pretty?
Big night, Marcus. Dining with that delicious lass with the Titian tresses
Who is third from the left in the chorus that likes it in Mike Shannon's voice.
Exactly. And now you may congratulate me.
And now I am going to break your heart. Mr. Daniel Poulsen of the Pacific Insurance Company wants he should see you, but bad, but right away.
Look, Mark, I'm willing to forget you ever gave me this news. Breaking this date tonight would make me very unhappy.
Yeah, huh? Mr. Poulsen is already unhappy. He told me so 3 times, all the way from Los Angeles.
You mean Paulson's been calling from California?
Yeah, which costs more than a nickel a throw. He's a big account, ain't he, Race?
Yeah. Here goes my redhead. What did Poulsen say?
He's at the Biltmore Hotel out there, which, I understand, is a fair to Midland manger. And he claims he wants to see you the first thing in the morning. He told me that 3 o'clock this afternoon. It is now 8:30.
All right. Let's go. Los Angeles was having one of those days her Chamber of Commerce doesn't like to discuss. Cloudy. And the weather matched the expression of Dan Poulsen as he greeted me in his suite.
I'm glad you got here. We've got to move fast on this thing.
What is it?
An embezzlement job. $100,000, and you know what that means. If we don't crack it, there'll be 100 more of them all over the country.
It must be a bank job.
It is. A man by the name of Thomas Carney. Manager of the Spring Street branch of the Merchants National Bank.
Any leads?
Just 2. And both pretty slim. He had recently been frequenting a bar on Main Street, a spot called Crow's Nest.
Mm-hmm.
And in his apartment, the police came across an envelope postmarked Juarez, Mexico. Had no return address. There was nothing inside it.
Ah, that's something. I guess my first move is a visit to this place called the Crow's Nest. Skid Row with music. That's Main Street, Los Angeles. Here you'll find plenty of drifters. The lads that don't seem to have a knack for what's known as making a living. The barkeep at the Crow's Nest looked affluent enough. He had a pendulous paunch, cheeks that could have doubled for dewlaps, and a pair of pop eyes that indicated thyroid trouble.
Sure, I know Carney. Not a bad guy. Never can tell, can you?
You ever hear him say he'd been in Juarez?
Juarez? You know, I think he did say something like that once. Ever why?
I'd like to talk to him. I thought he might be there.
Don't kid yourself, mister. You ain't got a chance of talking to Carney.
He might want to talk to me. Might even have changed his mind about keeping that money.
$100,000? Yeah, why would a guy want to change his mind about $100,000?
Because he finds that he's afraid of what he's done. Because he finds that if he had it to do over, he wouldn't.
Yeah, well, you got something there. Come to think of it, Carney was kind of scared, little guy. Might change his mind at that, if you could put it to him that way. What way, Carney?
Remember the kid you knew in school who enjoyed pulling openings off live flies? Well, he was one growing up. He looked as though he might have just stepped out of his web. And the bartender's reaction made me think of the flies.
Hello, Zucker. What way, Danny? Oh, I was just saying, I bet Connie's having a good time in Juarez. Tijuana, maybe. You talk too much. You know that, Benny? Sure. I talk too much, Zucker. But I don't mean nothing by it.
Guys that talk too much don't hang around very long. Yeah, that man.
Sure. I know it. Excuse me, Zucker. I got a customer.
You heard my name, pal. What's yours?
Race.
You're a cop, aren't you?
Not exactly.
I hate cops.
Just to keep the record straight, I'm an insurance investigator.
It's all the same. You're a cop.
Which adds up to what?
Gonna head right for Juarez, ain't you? Just because that flabmouth said Connie might be there.
I might head for Juarez.
I head right for Juarez just because that little flabmouth likes to jabber. And Benny...
What do you want, Zucker?
Come here.
Oh, look, Zucker, I told you I didn't mean nothing.
I said come here.
What do you want, Zucker? A drink?
Lean over here.
What for?
So I can take hold of you.
Like this? Let go. You fat flabmouth. I'm gonna...
Let go of him.
Get your hands off me.
If you don't let go of him, I'm going to break your arm.
I'll let him go. Good God, ain't you? Tough, hard, big.
Why don't you drift?
That's what I'm going to do, you feel good guy. I'm going to be around. Going to be around all the time. You stay here, I stay here. You go to Juarez, I go to Juarez. All the time, to get you somewhere just right. Then I'm going to make you wish you'd never been born.
Hey, that character wasn't kidding, Race. He's a bad one.
We've had bad ones before.
Sure. He always made a play, and we took care of him. This guy's going to hang back. That ain't good. But I got an idea. Why don't we go to work on him first?
Well, it's probably a good idea. Fairly sound. But it isn't the way we operate, is it?
Ethics. What good are ethics? Me, I'll take an end wrench anytime. Yeah. What do you make of this setup, anyway?
A little bank manager rubs shoulders with the underworld.
And lets himself get talked into embezzling $100,000. You'd be lucky if you let him keep a nickel of it.
It's a pretty sound observation. Know anything about Juarez, Mark?
I was there during the war. It's the toughest town on the North American continent.
Well, Juarez is where we're going, as of now. The toughest town on the North American continent looked sleepy, felt unbearably hot, and gave you the feeling that here had been gathered all the dust in the world. It was just after noon, siesta time. But I ran to one native who seemed willing to give his time to something else besides slumber.
You better come in from that sun, senor, before it burns a hole in your head.
It's probably an excellent suggestion.
Yeah. You were looking for something, senor? My name is Enrique Hernandez. I like to help people look for things.
I'm looking for Americans.
Oh, we got a few here. How'd you like them? Like this or like this?
I'm looking for a man. Man by the name of Carney.
Carney? A little man with part of his hair gone.
That answer. Can you take me to him?
He would be worth something, senor.
$100 if I get right to him.
See, this evening, senor, I'm going to meet you here. You have the $100 in your hand, and I will show you the way to this man, Carney.
I had sent Mark Donovan looking for information. I found him seated at a table in the bar of our so-called hotel, sipping drinks with three people who were obviously Americans. There was a man and two women. Mark saw me as I came in, excused himself, and came over to me.
Hey, have any luck, Race?
No, little. You look as though you're doing all right.
Yeah. I kind of stumble into this. See the two dames? Well, they make a play for the young one, and the old one gets the idea I mean her.
Well, look up, but she didn't exactly slap your face.
Yeah, not Emma. In 15 minutes, I am the thrill of her life. May not be important, but they're a lot of fun. Come on over, I'll introduce you.
Mark introduced the man at the table as Jack Kemp. The women as Peggy Dana and Emma Tellifer. Kemp must have been about 30. Nice-looking person with a pleasant manner. Peggy Dana reminded me of a girl I'd once fallen for in high school. She wore slacks and a sweater, and I felt I could do the falling all over again. Emma Tellifer was wearing slacks, too. And she shouldn't have been. A red splash of bandana had been tied around her head and face that would have looked better in a football helmet.
Suppose you're wondering what we're doing down here, Mr. Ace. Matter of fact, I'm wondering myself. What are we doing, Peggy?
Why, darling, you said you wanted to do something different. Something exciting. Didn't you, Jack?
That's the way I heard it.
As Mark had said, it wasn't important, but it was fun. So much so I remembered my appointment with Enrique Hernandez just in time. I made my excuses, left Mark behind, went out to find Enrique waiting impatiently. He had me follow him to an alley that led to what appeared to be an abandoned cafe.
Did you are, senor? A naughty $100, please.
After I've seen my man. Where is he?
You just open the door, senor. Where you see a light. You're going to find him inside.
All right. I find him, then you get your 100.
Who's that?
The man on the other side of the room was staring at me with a cool, clear, all-seeing gaze of a drunk peering through a wet window. But he wasn't drunk. He was frightened. Little and bald-headed and frightened.
Did you hear me? I said, who is it?
Someone who wants to talk to you.
Who are you? I don't know you.
If you let me, I'm going to help you.
I don't need any help. Help me. How?
I can make it possible for you to go back to the States.
I don't want to go back to the States. Yeah. How would you make it possible?
I can arrange a deal.
What kind of a deal?
You turn back the money you embezzled, and I think I can get you off with a light sentence.
No, I couldn't do that.
You'd rather sweat it out like this, would you? Terror-stricken, wondering what's going to happen next.
I know, but I couldn't return the money now. They wouldn't let me.
Who wouldn't let you?
Never mind, I can't say.
You'd rather keep eating your heart out, would you? All I have to do is telegraph. We'd get a reply back in a matter of hours. A light sentence, Connie. Then you're free again.
I don't know.
I could see I had him going, so I kept talking until he finally gave in. I was to wire Los Angeles. If the deal could be made, if he could get off with a light sentence, he was willing to turn over the money. I left him and found a telegraph office. But it wasn't until the next morning that I got my reply. Then I went back to see him. Connie, you here?
Yeah, he's here, Ray. I should shut the door.
It was Zucker, looking as though he just pulled a wing off of one of those flies. He was sitting in a rocking chair, rocking gently.
Sit down. Well, I'm afraid you'd get your clothes dirty.
Where's Connie?
He's here. In the other room. Go take a look.
I will. Connie was sitting in a chair, too. And it happened to be another rocker. But Connie wasn't rocking. Someone had beaten the life out of him with a blunt and heavy instrument.
We'll return to the adventures of Frank Race in just about 1 minute. And now, back to the adventures of Frank Race.
It all seemed so pat. A scared fugitive with his $100,000 hidden away somewhere, and I needed only a talk with him to break the case. So I'd been telling myself. Or should I say, kidding myself. The man has no breath in him. He does no talking. This was now the permanent condition of Thomas Carney, embezzler. I turned back to Zucker to find he'd been joined by a couple of dubious-looking companions.
A mess, ain't it?
Connie? Yeah, he's a mess, all right.
But he must have really had a grudge against that boy.
Somebody who wanted that money he was carrying.
Yeah, that's the way I figured it, too.
You didn't want it, of course.
Me? I was Connie's pal.
That's right. You were his protector, weren't you? So you let someone murder him.
Go ahead. Needle me. See what it gets you.
Of course, you weren't with him when it happened.
That's right, I wasn't with him. Or it wouldn't have happened. Not right now, anyway. But somebody was with him. It might have been you.
Sure, yeah. That's the way I make my living. By murdering the one man who can break the case for me.
Well, it's been done before.
That's right. You don't like cops, do you? You don't think they're honest.
That's right. I don't think they're honest.
I told you I wasn't a cop.
You're a cop, all right.
I suppose you've been looking for that money.
I hate cops.
If you had the money, you wouldn't be here. And you wouldn't have killed Carney unless you were sure of the money. So then, I'll let you out.
I'm much obliged. But it don't let you out.
No?
No. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to tease you. Tease you till you tell us a story on that dough.
You're overlooking something, aren't you?
Yeah? What?
Would I have come back here if I'd already had the money?
How do I know? How do I know what a cop's liable to do?
You want we should start in on him now, Zucker?
No, not here. We might want to work on this boy for quite a while. We wouldn't want them Juarez police to butt in.
So I take him to the motel, eh?
No, you take him out in the sticks. Out in the sand where we went yesterday. You keep him in the sun while you work on him.
That's going to get a little hot.
For you? Sure. But think how hot it's going to get for him.
You ain't coming?
No, not right now. I want to have a look around this joint. I'll catch up with you later.
A pair of assistants took me outside to a car they had waiting at the end of the alley. I was pushed into the back seat, but it didn't start moving. The car just wouldn't cooperate. It sounds like you boys might be a little low on gas.
Then you put a bush in his crate. No, you didn't. Look at the gauge, you jerk.
Well, let's go back and tell Zucker. He'll probably be quite happy with the efficiency shown by you boys.
I'm going to tell Zucker nothing about it. There's a gas station a couple of blocks from here. We'll go get some. All right, come on, get out.
Oh, you want me along, too, huh? No, I thought maybe you'd let me sit here and watch the passers-by.
Quit clowning. Get out.
More than 2 blocks. It was 5. All of them dusty, all of them hot. And my companions weren't used to walking. That quickly became obvious. So by the time we reached the gas station, both were thoroughly disgruntled with me, with the weather, and with each other. Then we had to wait.
What goes on around here anyway? Ain't there nobody to run this joint?
It's 1 o'clock, siesta time.
Oh, damn it, siesta. No wonder they never get nothing done around here.
Now, here's a can. We can just take some gas, leave the money.
We'll take some gas, all right, but we ain't leaving nothing.
Here, I'll fill it for you. Okay, what do you want it?
In a can, you creep. Where else?
I was thinking a good spot might be your face. I let them both have it right in the teeth. Then I dropped the thing and ran. I didn't slow up until I felt purple. I'm reasonably assured that I'd lost them. It was then that a familiar voice spoke to me.
You better come in from that sun, senor. It's not good for running like that.
Oh, it's you, Hernandez. You're so right. Only an idiot would run in heat like this.
See. You had not forget my $100, have you, senor?
No, Ricky, I've not forgot. Yeah.
Oh, gracias, senor. Muchas gracias.
I was a little surprised you weren't waiting for me when I came out of that place last night.
I would have waited, senor, but I was afraid. While you were in that place, there was someone else who came.
Someone else? Who? What'd they look like?
I could only hear, senor. It was too dark to see. But they stood outside while you were there, and that $100, it was for telling about Garni, not for fighting about him.
You have sound logic, Enrique. To carry you a long way.
Is there anything else for which the senor would like to employ me?
There may be, Enrique. We'll see. I was hot and thirsty, and full of the conviction that I'd bungled what appeared to be a fairly simple case. A combination of circumstances that called for a drink. A long, tall, cool one that I secured at the bar of our hotel. And while I quaffed it, something feminine and lovely sidled under the stool next to me. Something feminine and lovely by the name of Peggy Dana.
Hello, Ray.
How are yourself?
You look as though you'd been running.
I have, but we won't talk about it. What would you like?
I didn't stop for a drink. I just thought I'd like to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Had I known that was coming up, I'd have gone downstairs and prettied up a little.
Oh, you look all right as you are.
You look all right, too. You look awfully all right.
Grace, why are you down here?
Hasn't Mark Donovan told you?
You know he hasn't. He's not the type.
What are you doing down here?
I just came down for a look at the place. I'd heard it was wild and woolly. Now I guess I'm just staying because you're here. But you've been keeping so busy.
What about the boyfriend, Jack Kemp?
Yes, what about me, Peggy? I thought I was in your good books.
I think you're wonderful, darling.
See, Race, the girl really loves me. But quit trying to steal her, will you? Look, why don't we go to a table where we can start some serious drinking?
Oh, Jack, it's too hot.
Not for me. How about you, Race?
I don't think I could handle another one.
Good man. Now, I'd like to make you a bet. Just finish one more of those things you're sipping now. And I'll give you any odds you want that it's the beginning of your downfall.
He was almost right. A hot day and a bartender who knew how to hide dynamite in a cool, delicious drink. That's enough to cause your grandmother's downfall. By the fourth one, I knew I'd have to slow up. It didn't seem to bother Kemp. The only way he showed any effect was by insisting on paying for every round. And by the careful and exact way he counted out the bills to pay for them. I was finally rescued by Mark, who somehow got me up to our room.
Are you off your rocker? You can't drink like that in this country.
Nor in any other.
What do you want? Hot coffee, cold shower, or both?
I don't want either, Mark. To be quite truthful, I just want to go out and send another wire to Los Angeles.
You're nuts. Here, just let me ease you down in this bed now.
Ease down onto yourself, boy. I'm going out and send that wire. I just thought of something I think is going to crack this case. Yeah.
It's almost midnight. What are you doing?
Playing watchdog. They get a wire from Los Angeles?
Yeah, here it is.
Good.
Huh? So what you wanted?
Right on the button. Come on, Mark.
So now what?
We're going to have a look at a room 3 doors down the hall.
Is there anyone in the room?
No. Yeah, here we are.
Key and everything, huh?
Yeah, I got printed a night clerk. Made him alone. He doesn't have to pay back.
Look, tell me, what are we looking for?
$100,000. Or most of it, anyway.
Oh, another $100,000. Listen, if we find that, you're going to have to worry about me. But what makes you think it might be here?
Because this is the room of the...
Hey, what is this?
Good evening, Mr. Kemp.
Hey, Race, what calls? You ain't tagging Jack for this deal, are you? Jack's a nice guy.
Kemp just seems to be a nice guy, Mark. He also seems to be a wealthy playboy, but he isn't. He's a bank teller who followed Carney down here and murdered him.
What?
You drank too much today, Race.
A bank teller? I think you're missing on this one, Race. Jack just ain't the type.
Yeah, but he acts the type in one very peculiar way.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the way you counted out the money this afternoon when you were paying for those drinks. Meticulously, carefully. You laid out each bill with just the proper snap of your thumb. Just the way you've been doing it for 11 years at the Merchants National on Spring Street in Los Angeles. Start looking for the money, Mark.
Right.
The bank has nothing on me. I quit, legitimately, without touching a dime.
So they said. But you knew about Carney. He'd been foolish enough to confide in you a little, shall we say? You know he was going to a rendezvous down here with thugs he thought were going to protect him. So you came here, too. And got to the money before they could. But you had to murder him to make it stick.
Hey, Race, it's the dough. It's in his phone book.
And you can turn it all over to me. Thanks for leaving the door open, boy. Written invitation.
It's still open, Zucker. For you to back out.
I ain't backing out of nothing. Come on, chum. Bring me that phone book.
You can still leave, Zucker. But not with that phone book.
Like I told you before, Race, I don't like cops. You crowd me too far, and I'll prove it to you. Bring me the phone book, chum.
That gun he's got in his hand, Race, that's a good argument.
I've got a gun in my hand, too, Mark. In my pocket. But, maybe you had better give him the phone book.
Oh. All right. I'll give it on.
Here! You!
Hey, you did have a rod in your pocket.
That's right. Sometimes when you can't afford to bluff. And this was one of them.
Adventures of Frank Race, starring Tom Collins with Tony Barrett as Mark Donovan, comes to you from Hollywood. Others heard in tonight's cast were Michael Ann Barrett, D.J. Thompson, Wilms Herbert, Tom Holland, and Jack Crucian. This series is written and directed by Buckley Angel and Joel Murcott. The music is composed and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again this same time next week for another dramatic chapter in The Adventures of Frank Race. Art Gilmore speaking. This is a Bruce Ells production.
Welcome back. Well, if you add a word to your vocabulary every day, you can cross today's off with today's title. Garrulous means given to prosy, rambling, or tedious, pointlessly or annoyingly talkative. Another one is full of talk, blabby. Some people said that about my commentaries in the early parts of the show. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It's kind of an odd choice of title because the bartender just kind of gives Race the adventure. You know, the adventure itself occurs in Juarez, so the bartender didn't have a whole lot to do with the case other than giving them a tip. It's, you know, it'd be like saying the case of the ex-convict down the street. But I guess they had the reason for their titles. Anyway, we brought you your word of the day, and I hope you enjoyed it. Join us tomorrow for the Fat Man, and then next week it'll be another adventure of Frank Race. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. Thanks so much for all of your support. Today's episode of the Fat Man does have a few issues in terms of quality. The last part of the show, mainly the final commercial, the teaser for the next episode, and the end credits is missing. But the episode itself is intact. Sound quality isn't as good as we usually play, at least the source file wasn't, so be advised of that, but we want to be sure we bring you as much of the Fat Man as we can. So from April 1st of 1949, here now is Murder Wins the Draw.
There he goes, into the drugstore. He's stepping on the scales. Weight, 241 pounds. Fortune, age. Ooh.
The Fat Man. Gambling at its best is a sucker's pastime, and the schmo who makes a steady diet of it ought to take a course in simple mathematics. He's got a better chance of striking oil in his own backyard than he has of winning a sweepstakes. And if he thinks he can outguess a roulette ball, he's a real dreamer. But the gent who gambles with someone else's life is the biggest chump of all. Because his IOUs are never marked paid in full until he gets a share for murder.
That's the Fat Man. A fast-moving criminologist who tips the scales at 241 pounds. Brought to you by the Norwich Pharmaceutical Company, makers of Pepto. The Fat Man, starring J. Scott Smart. In tonight's adventure, Murder Wins the Draw.
When a happy tourist goes to Central America, he usually runs into nothing more dangerous than a good cup of coffee and a fried banana. But with me, it's different. If there's trouble around, it always walks right up and pokes me in the eye. However, this particular form of trouble wasn't hard to look at. She had the kind of legs you see in the hosiery ads, and a profile to match. But when she grabbed my arm in the airport at Merida, Yucatan, I had a hunch that although the mistake was hers, I was the one who lived to regret it.
Darling.
What?
Oh, Angel, I was so worried you'd miss our plane. Have your bags checked, Alan. We don't have too much time.
The name happens to be Runyon.
Oh, Porter, those suitcases. Wave them in at counter 7. The plane for Guatemala City.
Now, wait a minute. I'm going to New Orleans.
You're going to Guatemala City, dearest, with me. And here's your ticket.
She pushed something into my hand and led me to a counter. When I opened my palm, I saw it was a roll of $50 bills. But it was the anguished look of terror on her face that stopped me from brushing her off. 20 minutes later, I was heading south for Guatemala City and wondering why. Okay,
Okay, what?
let's have the gimmick.
I'm afraid I owe you an apology. I've made a slight mistake.
Well, don't let it worry you. I'm used to boarding planes that fly in the wrong direction. I like to take the long way home.
How can you ever forgive me, Mr. Runyon?
Let's dispense with the syrup, sweetheart. I'd prefer an explanation.
I made a mistake. We'll let it go at that. You've been paid for your trouble. There was over $500 in that roll. I have nothing more to say, so leave me alone.
She wasn't kidding. All the way to Guatemala, she kept staring out the window, and I could have gotten more conversation from a dummy. She was the first one out of her seat when we landed at the airport, and she'd finished with her baggage inspection by the time I reached the customs counter. But as the porter put my suitcase on the counter next to her, she suddenly grabbed my arm again and went into the old refrain.
Darling!
This is where I came in.
Oh, darling, we'll be late. Ask that customs agent to look at your suitcase. Say we're in a hurry.
Once is enough, sweetheart. No
But,
encores.
dearest, we have an appointment at the hotel. Please, don't be difficult.
I've been looking for you.
Oh, hello?
Who's the fat guy, Helen?
He's here to protect me.
Don't hand me that. Get your bag.
Alan, don't. You're hurting my arm.
Your bag.
Just a second, Miss.
You keep out of this.
Alan, please. Please don't start any trouble. I'll come with you.
All right, Porter, grab that suitcase and let's get out of here. I reserved a room at the Hotel Grand for you, Helen.
All right.
Senor? Huh? Customs Inspector Senor, you will please open your suitcase. Oh, sure. Nothing in here but my personal things. Is that so, Senor? What's so funny?
The next time you buy a girdle, senor, you might try a larger size.
Wait a minute.
But your silk nightgowns are exquisite.
This is not my suitcase.
There are no apologies necessary, senor. I'm happy to see you are wearing the new look.
Stop killing yourself and give me an exit stamp, Chico. I'm taking those nylons back where they belong. I checked into the Hotel Grand about half an hour later and gave the desk clerk a description of the gal who grabbed me at the airport, and who was now in possession of my shirts and shorts. He gave me a room number, and a little bellhop escorted me upstairs with a running account of the natural wonders of Guatemala City.
And the girls, senor, we have so many beautiful girls, and Pedro can arrange for you to meet the best.
Who's Pedro?
At your service. This way, senor.
Let's go in the other direction.
But your room is 65.
Right now, I'm looking for 78.
Well, that room is already occupied, senor Runyon.
And look, Pedro, don't argue. Lug that bag to 78.
Whatever you say, senor.
There it is, right across the hall.
See. There is no one inside, senor.
You got a pass key, haven't you?
This is very irregular.
Huh? How about this?
For a slight fee, senor, almost anything is regular. I have a key, of course. There you are, senor. The room, as I told you, is occupied.
You're right, Pedro. It's occupied by a corpse. The corpse was a woman I'd never seen before, quietly dressed and about 40 years of age. She was sitting in a rocker, pinned against the back by the blade of a 3-foot machete. The security police identified the woman by her tourist card. Her name was Alice Vinson, and her home was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The motive wasn't petty theft because her cash was in her handbag. And one look at her prematurely aged, not too attractive face convinced me it couldn't have been a crime of jealousy. Along about 11, I tried to get some sleep. But I hadn't even got my shoes off when my phone started ringing. Yes?
Mr. Runyon?
You're speaking to him.
I hope I didn't wake you.
No, not at all, sweetheart.
Well, this is Helen. You remember, don't you?
Oh, sure, I remember. You're one little number I'll never forget.
I'm afraid there was a mix-up at the airport.
Yeah, a little switcheroo.
You've got my suitcase, Mr. Runyon, and I've got yours.
I only wish I had your nerve.
What?
Did you check into room 78 at the Hotel Grand tonight?
Why, I don't.
They've got you listed on the register, baby, and so have the Guatemalan cops.
Well, I haven't done anything. Anyway, I've called you about something more important.
Really?
I want my suitcase back.
Well, come over and get it.
But that's rather difficult right now. Can you come to me?
It'll be a pleasure. What's the address?
I'm calling from a public booth. I'll pick you up on the corner of 12th and Avenida Marcos in 15 minutes. Is that convenient?
Very.
And you'll have the suitcase with you?
Tucked right under my chubby little arm.
Oh, and then I'll see you in 15 minutes, Mr. Runyon. And thank you ever so much for being so obliging.
All right. Keep the shirt on. Well.
Senor Runyon?
Yes?
I would like to talk to you, senor. Alone.
She couldn't have been more than 5 feet tall, with the delicate features of a doll. Her voice was like sugar cane, and when she smiled, it reminded you of a Caribbean moon. A nickel-plated, short-barreled .38 revolver in one of her neatly manicured hands completed the picture.
Sit down, senor.
Thanks.
And please don't move. It would be rude of me to blow your brains out, no?
To say nothing of the inconvenience.
Where is the suitcase?
What suitcase?
The one you will produce for me before I kill you?
Oh, that one.
I have no time for this stall, senor. The suitcase, por favor.
In that closet.
Gracias. And now, senor, if you will turn around and face the wall.
What are we playing? Puss in the corner?
Turn, senor. Gracias. No, just...
As I said before, she couldn't have been over 5 feet tall, and she was as delicate as a doll. But when she brought the butt of that rod down on the back of my skull, it was like playing patty cake with a pile driver. I must have been out for half an hour, and when I started to come around, my head seemed to be rattling like a couple of dice cubes. But as my eyes slowly came into focus, the dice cubes changed to footsteps, and I realized that someone was casing my room. When I opened one eye, I could spot his number 12 shoes as they passed back and forth 6 inches from my nose. I bided my time until my strength started flowing back. Then, as he passed me once more, I reached out and grabbed his ankle.
Hey, easy there, Sonny. Just let go of me.
Just as soon as I check your pocket.
Don't be just stupid ears.
Quiet, sweetheart.
What do you think you're doing?
I said quiet.
Hey.
That's better. Now, we'll get up and talk this thing over.
Making a big mistake.
Yeah, sure, I know. Everybody seems to be making mistakes in this part of the world. Where's Helen?
I don't know who you mean.
You're the man who met her at the airport, the guy she called Alan. My name is Runyon, and I'm in a very bad mood, so start making some sense.
Okay. I only came here to get our suitcase. You said you delivered, you never showed up.
Well, I'm all ready to keep that appointment now.
Where's the bag?
Don't tell me you didn't find it.
Stop conning me, Runyon. This is no laughing matter.
Alice Vinson would have testified to that along about the time someone stuck a machete in her chest.
What?
You didn't know?
What I know. Look, Runyon, is that suitcase really gone?
How do you think I collected this lump on my skull? She got here ahead of you.
You lying little tramp, she crossed me again.
What makes that suitcase so valuable, Alan?
That's my business. But if you want to play ball, I'll make it worth your while. Are you open to a proposition?
We'll talk it over on the way to the security police.
Don't be a sap, Runyon. You got nothing on me. The only thing you can hold me for is room breaking. That all that interests you?
Frankly, no. I'm looking for bigger fish to fry.
All right, here's your chance. I've played along with that double-crossing female once too often. If she's open for a murder rap, I don't want any part of her.
What's your proposition, mister?
It involves $250,000.
A lot of zeros.
125 grand for each of us, Runyon. Do I deal you in, pal?
Start shuffling the cards.
Okay. Then follow me.
Well, this is a mighty peculiar fat man case. Now, let's catch up with the Fat Man.
Guatemala City at night is one of the quietest places in the world. The streets are dark and lonely, and you can count the strollers, if any, on the fingers of one hand. I didn't trust this loudmouth Allen guy any further than I could see him, and when he stepped into the shadows of an open doorway, I almost jumped him. But then I saw him bend over a figure huddled on the steps.
Lo siento, señor. No ha regresado todavía.
Gracias. The old woman says Helen hasn't come back yet.
You suppose she ran out on you?
No, she's got to come back. I got her passport and tourist cards. She can't leave this country without them.
You still haven't told me what's inside that suitcase.
Why should I tell you? You can grab hold of it yourself and cross them, too. You'll work with me and we'll split 50-50. That's the deal.
Okay, what's next on the list?
I'm waiting here for Helen. I got a room on the second floor.
I thought you stopped at the Grand.
Sometimes it doesn't hurt to have more than one address. Tell you what, Runyon, you go back to your hotel room and I'll call you when she gets here. I can handle this gal alone.
And let you run out on me?
Well, you shouldn't be so suspicious. Would I have told you this much if I wasn't on the level?
When will I hear from you?
The minute Helen shows.
Okay, Alan. I'll be waiting for your call. I could almost feel his wiseacre grin on the nape of my neck as I turned and walked away. But that grin would have turned a little sour if he could have read my mind. The lobby was empty when I reached the hotel, but I found the boy I was looking for asleep in a chair near the vacant bar. Pedro. Pedro, wake up.
Oh, senor. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for company.
Oh, a girl to talk to, senor? To dance with, perhaps?
What do you got to offer?
Guatemala is full of lovely women, senor. Lolita, Conchita, Chiquita, Malita. I know them all, senor.
The gal I'm looking for is about 5 feet tall. She wears her hair in a bun on the back of her neck, and she's very easy on the eyes.
You all the girls are easy on the eyes, senor.
This one's got a small birthmark on her cheek. Looks like a triangle.
That would be Lolita. You have picked the most beautiful in the city.
Can I meet her?
Si, senor.
Where?
At the Club Cantale.
A nightclub?
It's a place where you can dance for 10 centavos.
Oh. She works there, huh?
See, Lolita is very popular with the boys.
Yeah, she would be with her lovely disposition.
You know where is the Club Cantale?
No. Suppose you trot along with me, Pedro, and introduce us. The Club Cantale was a tough little joint in the seedier part of town. The kind of place that supplied dance hostesses for the customers. Half a dozen girls were lined up at the bar when Pedro and I walked in, and I recognized the cutie who clipped me. I turned my back and sat down at a table as Pedro went over to talk to her. He said a few words, then brought her over to where I was sitting. I turned around just as she reached the table, and you could have knocked her over with an eyebrow pencil. Hello, Lolita. Oh, don't you recognize me?
No.
Take a look at this lump on my head. It might refresh your memory.
You know each other, senor?
And how? You can go back to your snooze now, Pedro. I'll carry on from here.
Senor, before I leave, I have some lottery tickets. All very good numbers, senor. I sell them as a sideline, no?
So does everyone else in Central America. No, I'm not playing the lottery, Pedro. Take this 5 and beat it.
Lolita, this is number...
Get out of here, stupid.
Hey, wait a minute, Pedro. Leave that ticket on the table. Here, keep the change.
Gracias, senor. Muchas gracias.
What's the matter, Lolita?
Nothing.
This lottery ticket bother you?
What do you want?
I want to know where the suitcase is and why you grabbed it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lolita, I understand the tourist trade is appreciated here in Guatemala. I don't think the cops would like it if I told them you ran around slugging their better customers with revolver butts. Oh, and there's also a little matter of murder, Lolita.
Murder?
You know, it's funny how that word gets a double take from everyone. Were you an innocent bystander, too?
Senor, I will make you a proposition.
Go right ahead. I've been getting them all night long.
How would you like to share a fortune with Lolita?
Between you and this Allen character, I'm getting to be a wealthy guy.
Allen?
Skip it and keep talking.
Do you know what was in that suitcase I took from your room?
I didn't up to now, but I think I can guess it. Was it a lottery ticket, Lolita?
The winning number for the Grand Nacional.
250,000 quetzales. That blonde, she stole it.
Helen?
Si.
Who owned the ticket first?
This I do not know.
Then how did you find out about it?
In the hotel lobby. I hear that blonde girl and the tall gringo talk. He squeezed her arm and she said the ticket is in her suitcase. Then she find out the suitcase is not hers. The one she had is missing.
Then what?
Well, they both leave the hotel to go back to the airport for the bag. 5 minutes later, you walk in. I see you have a bag that looks like the other one. And I see her say something about a hotline.
So you decided to climb on the bandwagon yourself?
This is the truth, Senor Runyon.
Where's the suitcase now?
In my dressing room. But something is wrong. I searched for an hour and I do not find the ticket.
Maybe you didn't look for it in the right places. Well, this time you'll get some help from me. If her story was straight, I was beginning to get an idea of how the late Alice Vinson was mixed up in it. All I had to do now was to make sure I didn't walk right into what Alice did. Lolita's dressing room was in back of the club, and when we stepped inside, we ran into an unexpected guest. It was Helen, the girl with the taking waves, as she was bending over the leather suitcase with a penknife in her hand.
What are you doing in my room?
I was just waiting to talk to you.
You have no right to search my suitcase.
Your suitcase. It happens to belong to me, a little thing.
Don't you call me a
Take it easy, girls. Take it easy. The party's young yet.
Oh, I should have known you were working with her. You're as big a crook as she is.
You mind if I see what you just cut out of that suitcase lining?
I don't know what you mean.
She has the ticket. It was in the lining and she has it in her hand.
Turn it over, Helen.
Not a chance.
You stole that winning ticket from Alice Vinson.
Well, she can't prove it. It's not registered in her name. Whoever turns it in collects the money, and I'm the one who's turning it in.
You're right about one thing. Alice Vinson can't prove it. She's dead.
Huh? Dead?
And if you try to turn that ticket in, baby, you'll get the squeeze for her murder.
Oh, you're just bluffing me. I didn't kill her. She took me on as a traveling companion in New York. When I left her a couple of days ago in Merida, she was alive.
You're in hot water right up to your pretty neck, Helen, and it's beginning to boil.
All right. Well, then I'll make you a proposition, Runyon.
Hold your hats, boys.
We'll split on this ticket 50-50. We don't have to fight about it. We can both be rich.
And what about me?
You can drop dead.
Yeah,
well, I'll spit in your face.
Have a good time, girls, and remember, no fighting in the clinches.
You little thief.
They were scratching their initials in each other's skin as I closed the door behind me, holding the lottery ticket Helen had dropped when Lolita opened with her first right cross. 15 minutes later, I was climbing the stairs to Alan's furnished room, where I found him pacing the floor like a hungry coyote.
She didn't come back yet, Runyon.
All right, sweetheart, I found her.
You did?
Yeah, and I've got the lottery ticket you were so cagey about.
Let me have it.
Not so fast. I'm entitled to a little explanation inasmuch as I'm an active partner.
What kind of an explanation do you want? Helen stole that ticket. She was supposed to split with me, but she ducked out to Yucatan.
That's why she grabbed me at the airport. She thought you might follow her.
I wasn't even there when she left.
I know that. You'd left for Guatemala on Alice Vinson's trail. She was going back to collect on her winning ticket, and she probably never even knew your girlfriend Helen had grabbed it until she got to Guatemala City.
Give me that ticket, Runyon. You're wasting time.
I'm in no hurry. Listen to the rest of my story.
What for?
Interesting. You didn't know that Helen had stolen the ticket either until you maneuvered Alice Vinson into that hotel room and jabbed her with a machete.
Wait a second.
Then you caught on, and you decided to wait at the airport to grab your ex-partner. You knew she had to get here sometime to collect her dough.
You must be nuts, Runyon. I didn't murder Vincent.
No?
No.
Then who did?
Helen, naturally.
But she couldn't. She never even came up to her hotel room. You both found out she had the wrong suitcase in the lobby, and you went back to the airport. I found the body before she could have returned.
And what does that add up to?
It adds up to this, Sonny. Alice Vinson was murdered before your gal friend even landed here. She was stabbed in a room which you'd reserved in Helen's name. Helen didn't have to kill for that ticket, mister. She already had it. But you didn't know that, so you knocked off Alice Vinson and then found out you only wasted a lot of time.
What are you trying to do? Grab that money for yourself?
I'm turning that lottery ticket over to the government, sweetheart. And from there it goes to Alice Vinson's estate.
Are you crazy? I thought you said we were partners.
I don't hold hands with a guy who's 3 feet from a Guatemalan firing squad.
You're the last one who's going to cross me, Runyon.
You ought to know better than to draw on a man with his hand in his pocket. But you were never too lucky when it came to a draw in any case, mister. The number you picked on the last one is up.
While the fat man rests up after that...
Welcome back. Well, you don't mess with the fat man. Making a dumb decision to draw was definitely costly. I always love how this show is just able to find ways to catch your attention. In some ways, it was reminiscent of how many of Barry Craig's investigations began. Not always, the typical Sam Spade beginning, beautiful girl walked into the office. Here he runs into beautiful girls who end up sending him over to Guatemala. Well, we have almost reached the end of The Fat Man. There are only 3 episodes remaining. In fact, we did have a listener comment regarding from K.A. Nicholas, who says, I adore this podcast, especially The Fat Man and Sherlock Holmes. I really enjoy the podcast format and prefer it to Crime Time, iTunes radio station, since this allows listeners to pick the episodes they want to hear. Adam is very knowledgeable about the age of classical radio and gives a good critique of the show afterwards. Keep up the very good work, as I look forward to every episode. Well, thanks so much. And I'm glad you've been listening and enjoying our shows. I do have one piece of good news for Fat Man listeners. There was actually a Fat Man movie made, and we will be sharing that with you on the podcast, our first November podcast on November the 4th, which, if my calculations are not off, will be 2 days before our final Fat Man podcast. And then coming on November the 13th is Call the Police. But that'll do it for now. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our great listeners. Thanks so much for all your support. Here now is today's episode. I'll let George do it. This one is called The Symbol 3.
Personal notice, danger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California invites you to Let George Do It. In just a moment, we'll begin tonight's transcribed adventure of George Valentine. If you've been having trouble starting your car lately, or if low gasoline mileage has you baffled, then make it a point to have your spark plugs checked soon. Dirty, worn spark plugs can rob your engine of power and pickup, and may even waste 1 out of every 10 gallons of gasoline you buy. Let the car savers at standard stations or independent Chevron gas stations check your plugs. They'll clean them and reset the gap, or if necessary, they'll be glad to install new spark plugs. Stop in tomorrow for an efficient car saver spark plug checkup where they say and mean we take better care of your car. And now, tonight's story, The Symbol 3, another adventure of George Valentine.
Dear Mr. Valentine, mark well the symbol 3. It's the key to destiny. Since I heard those words whispered to me on the telephone only 2 weeks ago, I've been living in a world of fear, horror. For these words have already twice brought into my home violence and sorrow. And now I know they're also going to bring death. What's because I can't get my husband's help. And I can't go to the police. So please, Mr. Valentine, come to see me as quickly as you can. But be sure you speak to me alone and introduce yourself merely as a friend. Sincerely, Miss Laswell. Unavoidable accidents. That horrible voice on the phone predicted them each time. And I know that the accident that's
Mrs.
coming...
Mrs. Laswell, please, if I'm to try and help you, you must start from the beginning.
I'm sorry.
You said that the voice first called you about 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Yes, Miss Brooks.
Mark Well, symbol 3. It's the key to destiny. That wasn't all he said, was it?
No. He told me he was speaking to me because my husband would never believe what he had to say. And even though there was nothing I could do to stop the accident, I should know about them as Martin's loving wife. Those were the words he used.
You didn't recognize the voice at all, Mrs. Laswell?
No, it was hoarse and low. There was no hatred in it, no emotion at all. I know it sounds crazy, but it sounded the way people usually imagine the voice of doom to sound.
Did he say what sort of accident would take place, Mrs. Laswell?
No. Just said there would be 3 accidents to teach my husband humility.
Humility?
You don't know my husband, do you, Mr. Valentine?
No, except by reputation.
Yes, we see the signs all over. Another construction job by Martin Laswell.
He's big and self-assured. With the driving force of a bulldozer. He forbade me even to speak about these accidents, let alone ask anyone for help.
I see. Just what was the first of these accidents like, Mr. Laswell?
My husband's pride and joy was his Great Dane. 3 days after the voice telephoned, the dog died.
Died? How?
In a freak accident. Somehow he got tangled in his own leash and choked to death.
But that doesn't sound possible.
I know, but it happened. The dog was powerful and big, but there were no signs of a struggle. Apparently no one, certainly no stranger, came near him. But there it was. A few hours later, the voice called again. It said the first accident took place. And I'd hear from him again soon.
And I gather he didn't disappoint you, Mrs. Laswell.
No. No, he didn't disappoint me. He called last week on a Wednesday. And he again said, Mark well the symbol 3. It's the key to destiny. And he hung up.
What happened this time?
That Saturday, our chauffeur, Johnny Givens, had an accident. He ran the car into a wall. He said he couldn't possibly explain why. There was nothing at all wrong with the car, no possible reason for the accident. He says it just happened. Luckily, he wasn't hurt badly, but he might have been killed.
And the voice called you again?
Just as before. He took credit for the accident. And he said he'd call once more.
When did he call this time?
The day before yesterday. I'm afraid Mr. Valentine's scared to death. For Martin and for me. I know the 3rd accident will happen to someone closer to Martin. And not knowing how and when it can happen, just knowing it will happen.
Ruth, I was looking for you and I... Oh, I didn't know whether there was anyone with you, Mrs. Laswell.
It's all right, Mr. Dunn. Miss Brooks, Mr. Valentine, this is my husband's junior partner. And our good friend, Edwin Dunn.
How do you do? Mr. Valentine, I know why you're here. And I still don't think it's a good idea.
I thought getting me in the middle of this thing was supposed to be strictly between us, Mrs. Laswell.
I told you Mr. Dunn is a good friend. I just didn't want Mr. Laswell to know.
Oh, I see.
Mr. Laswell is a fine man. But he has a violent temper, and he's almost obsessed with the idea that he doesn't need anyone's help, that he's too big for anyone to help him.
And he isn't. No one is.
Yeah, you're right on that score.
Besides, I don't know exactly what you can do, Mr. Valentine. You can't be bodyguard for all of us. And certainly you won't be able to protect Mr. Laswell if he doesn't want you to.
But you can stay here as my friends and do something. Try to find something so we don't just sit and wait. You will help me, Mr. Valentine, won't you?
Yeah, I'll stay here.
But George, what is there to go on? Where can you start?
The chauffeur, Mrs. Laswell. Is he well enough to be back on the job?
Oh, yes. And Mr. Laswell isn't using him this afternoon. Johnny's in his apartment over the garage.
Good. That's about the only point we can begin from, isn't it, Brooksy? And you don't have any explanation at all for your accident, eh, Johnny?
John Wesley Giddens.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The road, was it slippery?
No, Miss Brooks, not at all.
Or perhaps you took the curve too sharply, Mr. Givens.
There was no curve to take. It's like I said, there was no reason for me to lose control of the wheel. I've been driving for years with a fine record. It was as though I was made to have this accident by some power bigger than me.
Now, Mr. Givens, you don't really believe that something, supernatural made you have that accident, do you?
There are many things we don't understand, Mr. Valentine. I'm a bachelor, and I've got time to do a lot of reading. We don't even begin to guess at some of the forces that exist all around us.
Yeah.
For instance, I was worried about what Mr. Laswell would say about the accident. He's a big man and a violent one. And he has no patience with little people like me.
What did Mr. Laswell say?
Well, that's just it. Nothing. Mrs. Laswell said she'd speak to him first, and she did. And nothing at all was said about the car. Yes, sir, there are forces all around us that make all sorts of strange things happen.
I think there was a simpler explanation for your boss's behavior, Mr. Givens.
Well, if you ever want to sit down to have a chat with me, young man, I'll be glad to do it. And lend you one of my books. You too, young lady.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much.
Books make you the equal of any man.
Uh-huh. You don't have any idea when Mr. Laswell will be home, do you, Mr. Givens?
Oh, yes. I'm going to pick him up at the office in about a half hour.
Thanks. We'll wait for him.
You must be rather recent friends of Mrs. Laswell's. Mr. Valentine, is it?
Oh, no, that's right, Mr. Laswell.
And if Ruth had a friend as pretty as you, Miss Brooks, I'm sure she'd have mentioned it to me before.
Well, that is thank you.
Yeah, she always talks enough about other things.
Well, you see, Mr. Laswell...
Now, look, Valentine, let's not be childish about this. Ruth hired you as a sort of bodyguard to the Laswell household. When Johnny mentioned your name to me, I looked you up.
It seems this whole thing has been the worst-kept secret in the world.
I need no help. I need no protection. I need no nursemaid.
But surely with those two accidents and the threat of a third...
But I didn't say I wouldn't welcome some company, just to relieve the tension.
That was certainly an elaborate build-up to a sudden letdown.
Valentine, I'm a realist. I see what's going on in my house. I don't believe in the voice of doom. On the other hand, I don't close my eyes to what has happened.
Well, then.
So, by all means, welcome until the deadline has come and passed. Have a drink? Let's get ready for dinner.
Well, yes, of course.
No need to worry my loving wife. Whatever we can do to put her mind at rest...
Martin!
Yes, Ruth. Yes, what is it?
What is it, Mrs. Laswell?
What happened?
Ruth, cut it out. Come on, what's the matter?
The accident. The third accident. It just happened. Mark well, the symbol 3.
What happened?
What are you trying to say?
The watchman on your new construction job, Martin. He fell to his death with no one around him.
The poor man's over there, just where he fell, Mr. Laswell.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Wagon will be coming for him in a minute.
Brooksy, you'd better go back to the car and wait there with Johnny.
Yes. Yes, I think so, George. I'll see you later.
Johnny, you bumbling fool. Bring up the car. Come on, Valentine.
Yeah.
His name was Williams. He's been with us for many years. A nice old man. Careful.
Yeah. Good and steep down here, all right. Big drop.
Yeah. We're just getting ready to clear all this up. The rocks, so we could sink a foundation.
He must have been walking up there, along the edge. Somehow lost his footing.
And all these rocks on the bottom. Humility, that's a stupid word and a stupid idea.
3 accidents to teach you humility.
Coincidence. And someone takes advantage of them to call up later and talk nonsense. If I could get my hands...
Okay. Here he is. In front of of his coat covered with this powdered gray stuff. Shows he slid on his chest the first part of the way down.
Valentine, this had to be an accident. All of them had to be.
I'm not arguing with you, Laswell. There's a big board fence around this whole place and a gate with a lock. Williams wouldn't let a stranger in.
And there's no reason to kill Williams. There isn't a thing of value here, not a thing.
Uh-huh.
Only a crazy man would kill another human being for no reason at all. Another accident. The third. Well, at least it's all over. The voice said there would be only 3.
There's one thing bothers me about this third accident.
Huh?
It broke the rhythm. And if there's one thing this whole crazy case had, it was rhythm.
What are you talking about, Valentine?
The symbol 3. 3 accidents. Each occurs on the 3rd day after the warning. When was Mrs. Laswell warned about this one?
The day before yesterday.
Yeah. But Williams here died on the 2nd day. Why?
We'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine in just a moment. What do you really look for in the motor oil you buy for your car? Long engine life? If you do, new RPM motor oil is the answer. Switch over now to new RPM, the oil that doubles engine life, the time between major overhauls due to lubrication. Developed through atomic energy, new RPM is years ahead in offering better protection for your car. New RPM cuts in half the wear rate of critical engine parts. Even a cab company operating in the tough daily grind all cabs go through found new RPM motor oil reduced engine wear 71%. And compared with conventional oils, new RPM gives double protection against gum, acid, and corrosion in your engine. Now that many car manufacturers recommend heavy-duty motor oil for top performance under all driving conditions, it's important to you to know that new RPM exceeds all of their requirements for a heavy-duty oil. Considering these facts, it's easy to see why new RPM motor oil is first choice with motorists. Be sure you get new RPM motor oil for long engine life. Look for the sign of your nearest independent Chevron gas station or standard station. There you'll find new RPM motor oil, which is one reason they say and mean we take better care of your car. You're hired to save the wealthy Mr. and Mrs. Laswell from an accident which was promised by a mysterious voice over the telephone. You obviously succeed in that because a harmless night watchman is the victim of the third and last in a series of 3 accidents, foretold and delivered. So, at their home now, the Laswells are quite willing to consider the case closed. But if your name is George Valentine, you don't seem to be anywhere as willing.
For one thing, nobody's come up with an answer to this. Why did Williams' accident take place 2 days after the warning, not on the 3rd day?
Mr. Valentine, please. Why keep pounding on this one point?
It's 8 o'clock now. The 3rd day won't begin till midnight. Have you any ideas, Mr. Dunn? As Mr. Laswell's partner, you're a little more objective. Can you venture a guess?
Well, I'm afraid not. I'm inclined to agree with Mr. Laswell's thinking.
I told you before, Valentine. The man on the phone was merely taking advantage of some amazing coincidences. The death of the dog, Johnny's smash-up, Williams' accident didn't fit this weird schedule, that's all. It'd be a 1,000,000 to 1 chance if it did.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to sound heartless. The poor watchman's death was horrible, so needless. But the nightmare is over. And I'm human enough to feel relieved.
And the voice on the telephone?
Some enemy of Mr. Laswell's. Some vicious man's idea of how to torture Mrs. Laswell.
Mr. Valentine, I'm grateful for your interest and sorry for the trouble my wife has caused you. Here, please take this check, and thanks.
Nice check.
We were just going out. Dunn, Ruth and I. A quiet dinner somewhere, a few drinks. Why don't you call up Miss Brooks and join us?
No, thanks. I'm miserable company when something bothers me. And something bothers me.
George, will you stop mumbling to yourself and eat something? It's 9:30.
Yeah, Angel. 9:30 of the second day. Mark well, the symbol 3. It's the key to destiny.
Darling, maybe you are just being stubborn about this whole thing.
Oh, but something is wrong, Angel. The partner who calls her Ruth when he thinks they're alone, but is so careful to call her Mrs. Laswell when he sees us. And the original Mr. Big himself who blows hot and cold. So much combustible material, Brooksy, and none of the 3 principals are involved in any of the accidents. Come on, let's get out of here.
George, really, the morgue.
Just a hunch, Angel, but what a hunch.
Down this way, Mr. Valentine. They brought him in a couple hours ago.
I know, Kennedy. Be right with you.
I'll sit here at Mr. Kennedy's desk. There's some very interesting old copies of Life I something mustn't miss.
Yeah, okay, Brooksy.
Here's Valentine. Williams, James. Cause of death, accidental fall. Date set.
That's it. His nails, his hands. That's it.
Hey, Valentine. What are you gone crazy?
No, Kennedy. A long shot just came romping home.
But, George, what makes you so sure Williams was murdered?
Just take my word for it right now. The important thing is to find out why the poor guy was killed. There's got to be an answer to that.
Here? The big empty place where something is going to be built is about the last place to find anything.
Couldn't be a question of money.
No, not very well.
He didn't particularly mean anything to Martin Laswell, so his death couldn't be expected to shock the big man or hurt.
George, this little shack where the watchman stays.
Yeah, it's open. No, there's never anything much in one, see? Little stove, some lanterns to be filled, just a cot, a few tools.
Mm-hmm. Nothing seems to have been disturbed.
He must have been hit on the head, then thrown down. No one in the world could tell the rocks didn't...
What's the matter, George?
In the corner. This space in the corner.
Well?
The dust. You can still see. There's no dust settled down. A square box stood there. And it was taken out of here probably right after Williams was killed.
Square box? What about it?
Another fairly standard part of equipment in the shack of a watchman on a construction job. A box of dynamite.
Dynamite?
Yes. That might be cause for murder. There was no signs of a struggle. Somebody was let in. Somebody whom Williams knew.
The Laswells. Edwin Dunn.
And now somebody has enough dynamite to really mark a symbol 3. Nobody answers to the Laswells. They're still out somewhere.
But where?
11:25. Any time after midnight, the payoff to this whole weird build-up will really come. Brooksy, you get on the other phone. Call the police.
Yes, George.
Tell them to trace the license number of Laswell's car. Get the prowl cars and motorcycle cops to see if they can pick him up. Okay, thanks. Thanks very much. Try and guess where a millionaire might go for a quiet dinner and a few drinks. A little rhubarb blue, a golden pheasant. Guess the best thing I can do is get over to Laswell's and wait for him. What do you know? The house is all lit up. Laswell's car at the door. Mr. Dunn's car, too. Must be topping off those few drinks with a few more. Regular celebration seems to... What? Oh. Oh!
Just stay there quietly, Mr. Valentine.
Oh, what? Huh? It's so dark. Hey, who are you? Where are you?
I am near you. Near enough.
The house is still lit up. She dragged me away from it. Hey, where are we?
In back of the house. You never noticed there's just a sheer drop to the bottom of the ravine.
I gotta get into that house.
Stay still. I've got a gun. You can't see me, of course, but I've got it pointed right at you.
Yeah. You're not gonna let me do anything, are you? Not until it's all over.
Mark well the symbol 3. It's the key to destiny.
5 minutes to 12.
I'm afraid I didn't knock you out hard enough.
Well, after all, you're a pretty slight little man, Johnny.
What? John Wesley Gibbons, not Johnny. I'm a man, not a little child, and I'm not just a flunky who can be called whatever you wish.
I guess it had to be you. Maybe I should have known sooner. You had to be the one who smacked up your own car.
You move 1 inch and I'll kill you. You know I will.
Yeah, I know, but don't worry. I never argue with a gun.
The music is pretty, isn't it? And they don't suspect a thing. It'll take only a few minutes more.
Come on now, where is the dynamite?
In Mr. Laswell's car. The big, shiny car. It's right next to the house. And soon it will blow up the house. But we're far enough away, we'll be safe.
Look, you're crazy as a loon, Buster.
No, I'm smart. I know all sorts of things. I picked the car for a good reason, Valentine. That's where Mr. Laswell was always so big. And I was so small. Johnny the fool. Johnny the nobody.
But Mrs. Laswell, Mr. Dunn, they're innocent.
Stand back. Don't you move. I killed the dog. But I didn't mean to kill Williams. I just had to have the dynamite.
You still have a chance to stop all this. You're a sick man. They'll treat you. They won't punish you.
I told you I'm not crazy. I'm stronger than fate. Oh, it was wonderful to see them squirm. The symbol 3. 3 small things. A dog, a chauffeur, a watchman. And the king will come tumbling down.
You're not big, Johnny. You're small. You were always meant to be small.
Don't call me Johnny.
You can only carry out orders, Johnny. You've never finished a thing in your life.
Shut up.
I'm going to come at you, Johnny, and take your gun away. And if you shoot me, you'll miss me.
Shut up.
And I'll drive the car right up here and let it go over the ravine. You hear me, Johnny? Little Johnny. Johnny.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Not in the state you're in, Buster. One chance is all you get, Johnny.
I'm not a failure.
I'll take that gun now. No time to want you. I only hope you gave me enough of the third day so I'll have time. Release the brake. Oh, tick a few seconds more, baby. Go on ticking. Go on. And one good shove over the side. 3 minutes after 12. Thanks for being true to the symbol of 3, Johnny. Now to tie up some real loose threads.
It takes more than one feature in a gasoline to give you all-around dependable performance. That's why Chevron Supreme gasoline is designed to give you not 1, not 2, but all 8 high-performance qualities. Count them. Area blending, mileage, power, anti-knock, vapor lock prevention, starting, warm-up, and acceleration. For top all-around performance in your car, shift to the gas with all 8. Fill up with Chevron Supreme gasoline at standard stations and independent Chevron gas stations where they say and mean we take better care of your car.
The Messiah complex along with the persecution complex. Well, it'll take the doctor some doing to try and straighten Johnny out.
Yeah. Yeah, he really sold himself a bill of goods, all right.
George, you still didn't tell me how you knew that William's death wasn't an accident, that it had to be murder.
Well, under his nails, there was none of that gray dirt we found on his jacket. Why wasn't there? If he just fell, he'd grab at anything, scratch at anything on his way down. Law of preservation.
That's right.
No, Brooksy, he had to be killed and then thrown down.
Oh, darling, you're smart. Very smart.
Gee, thanks.
You're so smart that I'm proud to consider myself more than your assistant.
Huh?
You do think of me more as a partner, don't you? A sort of, a running mate.
Sure, Angel.
I was just thinking. It wouldn't be so hard for a girl to be a mate if some men wouldn't do so much running. Oh, I knew you'd get it. You see, I told you were smart.
Tonight's adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you, transcribed by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and Standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George, with Virginia Gregg as Brooksy. Let George Do It was written by David Victor and Jackson Gillis and directed by Kenneth Webb. Jean Bates was heard as Ruth, Theodore Von Eltz as Laswell, Byron Kane as Johnny, and Don Randolph as Dunn. The music is composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service.
This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, apparently the way the partner and the wife were speaking to each other was just a red herring. I was kind of suspicious of the driver to start with just because of the way he talked. But be that as it may, that's the solution to this particular case. One thing I don't like the way Brooksy's doing it. The writers are being less clever about the way they're including her hints at marriage. It kind of comes off a little bit desperate, so hopefully we'll see that corrected in these last few episodes we haven't Let George Do It. Anyway, we now turn to listener comments and feedback, and we begin with Chuck B, who on Twitter, who encourages his followers to check out our site. Well, thanks so much, and I appreciate that. We also received this question from Floyd. He says, I, for one, appreciate all of the efforts you take to put the great detectives on. I've been listening to the podcast during my work commute for about 2 years now. I've learned to enjoy and expect your comments after each show. If you didn't have all the ers and uhs in them, I would think someone was impersonating Adam Grant. I've recommended the podcast to many people. Keep up the great work. Was Perry Mason ever produced as a radio show? I watched the TV show when I was a kid and read a lot of the books. Thanks again, from Floyd in Elk Plain, Washington. That's a good question, Floyd, and I will provide some illumination. Perry Mason was made into a radio program during the golden age of radio. However, it was a serialized version. It's kind of soap-erotic. But even beyond the soap opera elements, the problem with the Perry Mason is that there were about 300 single episodes out there, but you don't really have any complete story arcs, which makes it incredibly hard to follow and to enjoy. we are going to be bringing you a radio program that was created by Earl Stanley Gardner, who was the creator of Perry Mason. The program is A Life in Your Hands, and it's kind of involved, so I won't get into too many details about it, but it's one of the true sort of courtroom mysteries that the golden age of radio can boast of. And it's actually a pretty fascinating premise that I think if you like Perry Mason, you'll enjoy it. And we're actually going to be coming up and doing that on Tuesday in, I believe it'll be about 8 weeks. We'll finish up The Fat Man, and then we've got Call the Police. So about 8-9 weeks, we'll be bringing you that series. In addition, beyond the golden age of radio, there's also modern radio drama that's been made with Perry Mason. Colonial Radio Theater of the Air, we played in Father Brown episode they did back in during our listener support campaign in August. They actually did a series of the first 5 of the Perry Mason mysteries, adapted them to radio. And during the listener support campaign, they had to be the most popular thing our listeners requested. And I've listened to all 5 of them, thoroughly enjoyed them. And they really tend to capture the original flavor of the book. They're not trying to imitate the 1950s series. And the one thing that surprised me, I interviewed for the blog several months back the star of the program, Jerry Robbins. And Jerry Robbins said he hadn't even seen the Perry Mason that Raymond Burr did. He just went strictly off the books. And it's a great approach. It's different, but I think it's a lot of fun. So Colonial Radio Theater, if Perry Mason's out there, you can get them on Audible or Amazon, and those are probably the best adaptations of Perry Mason to the radio that are in existence. All right, well, thanks so much for the question, and that will do it for today. Join us back here on Thursday for Sherlock Holmes, and then join us again on Wednesday for Let George Do It. Today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners, and I want to thank especially Michael, who sent along a donation. And we will, as we do with all donations of $7 or more, send access to our premium site. Well, now it's time for today's episode of Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of the Devil's Foot.
From New York City, the makers of Clipper Craft Clothes for Men and more than 1,200 leading retail stores from coast to coast present that immortal character created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes, starring John Stanley. This week's story, The Adventure of the Devil's Foot.
Holmes, why are we running up these stairs? Where are we going?
To the room above, Watson. If we...
Holmes, listen!
The devil's foot! It's here in my room! The devil's foot!
The devil's foot? Good Lord, Holmes, what is that?
Death, Watson. A foul and fiendish death, worthy of Satan himself. We're at the door of Dr. John Watson's study, and we're about to hear another of his adventures with the fabulous Sherlock Holmes.
Well, good evening, Mr. Harris.
Good evening, Dr. Watson. What memoir are you going to tell us about tonight?
A very particular one, Mr. Harris. An adventure that Holmes himself classified as the strangest of his career. It took place in Cornwall, that brooding country of lonely and rolling moor.
I see, Doctor. And what's it called?
Well, Mr. Harris, Holmes always referred to it as the Cornish Horror. But in my memoirs, I have noted it as the Adventure of the Devil's Foot. And I shall be delighted to relate it to you after you have presented your audience with the merits of Clippercraft clothes.
Thank you, Doctor. Is there anyone anywhere who doesn't want a lot of value for his dollars when he buys a suit or a topcoat? I doubt it. Most men want skillful tailoring, fabric that's long-wearing, looks that stand out in a crowd. And that's just what they get in a suit or overcoat with a Clippercraft label, and at a price they can afford to pay. Yes, Clippercraft is considered one of the greatest clothing values in America today because dollar for dollar, you can't beat the values. A Clippercraft pure worsted suit, for example, is only $45. A Clippercraft topcoat or overcoat is just $40 to $47.50. And there's quality in every inch of the fabric, every seam, every buttonhole. Yes, for a deliberately planned clothing buy that's honest-to-goodness quality and value through and through. See the fine Clippercraft clothes at your local independent store, a store you can trust. Compare Clippercraft with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, what about the adventure of the Devil's Foot?
Well, Mr. Harris, it began in the spring of 1897. In that year, Holmes's iron constitution began to show some signs of strain. So we repaired for holiday to a house on the tip of the Cornish Peninsula. Little did we suspect what was soon to transpire. It began one evening at a house called Tredanick Water, near an old stone cross on a moor. Here, Mortimer Tregennis had been visiting his brother George and his sister Brenda.
It's a dark night on the moor, George, and a lonely walk to the village.
Come now. My dear brother Mortimer isn't afraid of ghosts and devils now, is he?
George, why don't you stop? Why don't you let Mortimer alone?
He lets us well enough alone, don't he, sister? The moor's not good enough for him, oh no. He has to live alone at the vicar's in the village. But you'd like to live in better style, wouldn't you, Mortimer?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. The shares of the tin mine Father left to Brenda and me. You'd like to have them for your own, wouldn't you?
George, please, you're being rude and uncharitable.
Perhaps I am, Brenda. I could never stomach a coward.
I'm not a coward, George. It's just the way the moor is tonight, with the wind howling out there, and the moon gone, and that old stone cross standing naked against the sky, and... George.
Oh, what is it, Mortimer?
I thought I saw something moving around out there. A figure in a black cloak with shining eyes. Evil eyes.
Well, bless me. He's seeing the goblins already, Brenda. Afraid to walk home now, hey, Mortimer?
I wouldn't stay here another minute if you begged me to, George. I'm tired of your carping and your insults. I'll show you if I'm afraid to cross the moor.
Mortimer.
Good night.
Mr. Tregennis, wake up! It's Mr. Roundhay, the vicar. Please open the door, sir.
What is it, Mr. Roundhay? Don't you realize it's 4 in the morning?
Mrs. Porter, the housekeeper for your brother and sister out on the moor. She's just arrived with a message. The poor woman's terrified and fainted.
What is it, Mr. Roundhay? What's happened at Tredanick Water?
There's been a disaster, Mr. Tregennis. Some sort of awful, devilish disaster. The lights are on in the house, Mr. Tregennis.
Yes. I don't understand it, Mr. Roundhay. My sister and brother were perfectly all right when I left. Suppose we go in and take a look.
I tried to get an account of what had happened from the housekeeper, Mr. Tregennis, but she was quite incoherent, and then... Good heavens, what's that?
I don't know. It sounds like George.
We'd better go in.
Oh, good heavens!
Mr. Tregennis, your sister, she's dead. And your brother Georgie, he's gone mad. They were playing whist.
It was the devil what come here. The devil! The devil! The devil!
This is a strange story you've just related, Mr. Tregennis.
Very peculiar set of circumstances indeed. I find them most fascinating.
And most horrible, Mr. Holmes. Believe me, I am gratified that the vicar, Mr. Roundhay, persuaded you and Dr. Watson to look into this tragedy. We consider it most fortunate that you decided to take your holiday here.
Yes, quite. Now then, Mr. Tregennis.
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
As I understand it, your sister was found dead, and your brother was still holding his twist cards and laughing wildly.
What do you make of it, Holmes?
It's a little too early to form any conclusion, Watson. But to continue, Mr. Tregennis, you thought you saw something lurking out on the moor just at the time you were to leave the house last night.
Yes, I'm sure I did.
What did you see?
It looked like a man wearing a black cape, like some kind of weird devil out on the moor.
Interesting. Very. Watson.
Yes, Holmes?
Suppose we go to the house on the moor and question the housekeeper at once.
Well, Mr. Holmes, that's my story. I was asleep. Heard George laughing as though he were balmy, and found them. And if you ask me, 'twas the devil that did them both in.
Indeed?
Oh, come now, Mrs. Porter.
The devil it was, Dr. Watson. Him that lives in the lonely wood of Beecham Ariance, on the moor. Lives like a hermit, he does, and comes from the devil's roost in Africa.
Interesting, Mrs. Porter. Very. And what is this satanic gentleman's name?
Sterndale. Dr. Sterndale, he calls himself.
Holmes, Sterndale, the famous African explorer.
Yes, quite, Watson. But, Mrs. Porter, why do you suspect this man Sterndale?
He's a man of strange and lonely habits, and rough temper. And he was sweet on my mistress, Brenda Tregennis.
They knew each other?
Aye. I've heard that he offered marriage, but she would have none of him.
Watson, perhaps we'd better have a talk with this fellow, Sterndale. You seem to resent our morning visit to your retreat, Dr. Sterndale.
I do. I intrude on no man's privacy, and I resent any intrusion on mine. State your business quickly and get out, before I throw you out and slam this gate behind you.
Holmes, the infernal cheat.
Quiet, Watson. Dr. Sterndale, I must remind you that murder has been done. And although you may have bullied native bearers in the African jungle, you'll find that my colleague and I here are made of different metal. Now then, a question or two.
Very well, but be quick about it.
I understand you bear some distant relationship to the Tregennis family.
Very distant? What of it?
And that when the tragedy happened, you were on your way to Africa. You had, in fact, reached Plymouth when you suddenly returned.
You are well informed, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you. I find facts to be strong allies in my business. Dr. Sterndale, how did you know of this tragedy, since it could not have been in the Plymouth newspapers?
I received a telegram.
May I ask from whom?
Blast it, man, you're inquisitive.
I take it, then, you do not propose to answer my question?
I got it from the vicar, Mr. Roundhay. Naturally, I returned here to Cornwall and let my boat go. And now, Mr. Holmes, I had quite enough of you and your friend.
Holmes, someone is coming.
Yes, Watson. It's the vicar. He seems to be in a great hurry.
Mr. Holmes! Mr. Holmes!
Yes? What is it, Mr. Roundhay? Speak up, man.
We are devil-ridden, Mr. Holmes. There's a devil in the parish, and we are in the hands of Satan.
What are you talking about?
It's Mr. Tregennis. Mr. Mortimer Tregennis. He's suddenly gone mad. Stark, raving mad.
Well, Dr. Watson, no wonder Sherlock Holmes considered this his greatest adventure.
Yes, Mr. Harris. You have not heard the end of it yet. After you tell our audience something about Clippercroft Close, I shall resume this weird story.
We shall all join you in a minute, Doctor. Way back in the old days when men sat around a cracker barrel and talked about the cost of living, weighed their dollars, planned how much they'd spend for this or that, way back then, they would have recognized a Clippercraft suit or overcoat as a really good sound buy, because Clippercraft clothes have all the steadfast quality you want at your kind of everyday price. Luxurious fabrics, skillful tailoring, smart lines. They're made especially for men who like to look well-dressed, but don't want to throw their budgets out of gear. They're the kind of clothes your local independent dealer is proud to feature because in times like these, they're worth every single penny and more than their price tags read. The reason you save so much when you buy a Clippercraft coat or suit is the enormous combined purchasing power of more than 1,200 stores throughout America. In other words, the famous Clippercraft plan. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes bearing the Clippercraft labels. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city.
These leading stores in the metropolitan area are proud to add their names to Clippercraft in your suits, topcoats, and overcoats. In Manhattan, Saks 34th, Broadway at 34th. John Wanamaker Men's Stores, Broadway at 8th and 67 Liberty Street. In Brooklyn, Abraham and Strauss. In Newark, New Jersey, Boulevard Men's Shop, Kresge, Newark. And in Jamaica, the B&B Clothes Shop, 16408 Jamaica Avenue.
And now, Dr. Watson, you were relating to us the adventure of the Devil's Foot.
So I was, Mr. Harris, so I was. After the vicar's dramatic announcement, Holmes and I joined him in his carriage. We raced out of the wood and across the desolate Cornish moor until we reached the village. At the vicarage, Holmes and I mounted the stairs two at a time toward Mortimer Tregennis's room. And then... Holmes, good Lord, listen, he's raving.
Come on, Watson.
Yes. Holmes, he's...
It was in this room, the devil's foot! The devil's foot! The devil's foot!
Holmes, the devil's foot! What the deuce... Holmes, that pungent odor we detected at the house. It's in here.
Quick, Watson. Open the window.
Right, Holmes.
Devil's foot. Still present.
The devil's foot! Yes! Yes, that's it! The devil's foot!
Holmes. Mortimer Tregennis.
It's too late to do anything for him now, Watson.
Dash it, Holmes. What in blazes has happened? What is all this gibberish about a devil's foot?
No time to answer questions now, my dear Watson. I'm going to examine the garden at once. Watson, I'm beginning to suspect what has happened. Aha!
What is it, Holmes?
Observe, Watson. Note. This footprint here in the soft earth. It has a ribbed pattern. And here, on the leaf of this bush, observe, it's sprinkled with ashes.
Ashes? What kind of ashes?
The devil smokes a cigar, Watson. Come, let us go back to the room upstairs. Watson, look here.
Where?
On the windowsill. There are tiny bits of gravel.
Well, what of it, Holmes?
Significant, Watson, very, especially when one notes the texture and color of this particular gravel. Note, too, that the lamp in this room is still burning.
Well, I don't see what...
Proof of the time of murder, Watson. Surely the lamp would not be burning if Mortimer Tregennis had been murdered in broad daylight. This terrible tragedy befell him in an hour of darkness, possibly just before the dawn. And... One moment, Watson.
Holmes, what are you doing with the smoke guard of that lamp?
Uh-huh.
What the deuce is it, Holmes?
I am merely scraping a rather peculiar residue from the smoke guard of this lamp, Watson. Note this fringe of brown powder yet unconsumed.
What does it mean?
A series of curious coincidences, Watson. In each case, at the house on the moor and here at the vicarage, there was heat by fire. At the house, the fire in the hearth. Here, this lamp. In each case, there was a peculiar, pungent odor in the air. And in each case, madness and finally death was the result.
Yes, but Holmes, what have all these got to do with the devil's foot?
I cannot be sure, my dear fellow, until we reach our own quarters. And there, Watson, we shall conduct an interesting and perhaps a dangerous experiment. Well, Watson, we're ready.
Yes.
You take that chair near the window. I shall take this chair near the lamp.
Right, Holmes.
Now, then, we shall light the lamp. And now, in this envelope, I have some small scrapings of that brown substance I took from Mortimer Tregennis's lamp. Suppose I sprinkle it on this hot lamp shield.
Yes, but Holmes, what the deuce is the... that odor. It's here, Holmes. It's in here.
Steady, Watson.
That That's funny. It makes my head swim. What a laugh. I want to laugh.
Watson? Watson, can you hear me?
It makes me want to laugh. I want to laugh.
Watson, I've got to get you outside in the air. Here, put your arm around my shoulder, Watson. Steady, old man. Steady. Watson, you all right, my dear fellow?
Oh, Holmes. Jove, I feel done in. Splitting headache.
Oh, Watson, what? I shall never forgive myself. It was a foolhardy experiment to subject a friend to.
Well, never mind that, Holmes. Did you draw any deduction from it?
Indeed, I did, Watson, thanks to your generous cooperation. I'm able to tell you that the murders at the house on the moor and here in the vicarage were done by two different murderers, and both brought about death by combustion.
What?
And second, I now have the secret of the Devil's Foot at hand.
Holmes, what the deuce is it?
As soon as you're feeling better, Watson, I shall dispatch an urgent message to Dr. Sterndale. And after that, you shall hear the answer for yourself. Ah, good evening, Dr. Sterndale.
Mr. Holmes, I am in receipt of your rather cryptic message.
Ah, to be sure.
And I'm at a loss to know, sir, what you can have to speak about that affects me in such an intimate manner.
Would murder be reason enough, Dr. Sterndale?
Murder?
Precisely. You killed Mortimer Tregennis.
Aye, the great Peter, Mr. Holmes. I've a mind to twist your neck. I've lived among savages in Africa these many years and beyond the law. You would do well not to forget it. I have no desire to do you an injury.
Nor have I any desire to do you an injury, Dr. Sterndale. Surely the clearest proof, knowing what I know, is that I have sent for you instead of the official police.
What do you know, Mr. Holmes?
I know that Mortimer Tregennis killed his brother George and his sister Brenda. I know that you were deeply attached to his sister, that you returned when notified by the vicar and took your revenge. I know also that you and Mortimer both used the same method. The Devil's Foot.
Holmes, what the blazes is this Devil's Foot?
This, Watson. These tiny brown particles we found on Mortimer's lamp.
What? It's impossible. How did you know, Holmes? I didn't think anyone knew.
It so happens my hobby is chemistry, Dr. Sterndale, and specifically the chemistry of rare poisons.
Yes, but Holmes...
Devil's Foot, Watson, comes from a rare African plant. Devil's Foot root. It induces madness, then death. The root is shaped like a foot, half human, half goat-like, hence the name. It's used as an ordeal poison by medicine men in certain districts of West Africa. I presume you brought back this specimen from the Ubangi country, Dr. Sterndale. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, that's correct. Mr. Holmes, how...
Obvious, my dear doctor. Obvious. In some manner, Mortimer Tregennis received some of this powder from you.
Yes. I showed it to him on one occasion, and he must have stolen it.
Precisely. Tregennis coveted the shares his brother and sister owned in the family tin mine. When he left the house on the moor, he threw some of the Devil's Foot into the fire.
Yes. Yes, he killed her. He killed Brenda out of his greed for money. But I loved her. I loved her more than anything in the world. That is why I lived near her on this desolate moor.
How does it happen, Doctor, that you didn't marry her?
Because I already have a wife, and she refuses to release me. When I heard that Mortimer had killed the only person I loved in this world, when I heard how she had died, I knew. And so I returned.
Quite. You woke Mortimer by throwing gravel on his window, a gravel peculiar to your own grounds. You requested an audience in his chambers and threw some of the particles on his lamp. Then you went down to the garden, smoked a cigar, and waited for him to die.
So that was the footprint?
Yes, Watson, of the very tennis shoes Dr. Sterndale's wearing now. Dr. Sterndale.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Why didn't you appeal to the official police? Accuse Mortimer Tregennis yourself?
I thought of that. The facts were true, but what jury would believe my fantastic story? And so I took justice into my own hands. Well, Mr. Holmes, there's my story. You can do what you will. I have no particular desire to live anymore. If you were a man who loved as I did, perhaps you would understand.
Dr. Sterndale, What were your plans?
I had intended to bury myself in Central Africa and never return. My work there had only begun.
Then by all means go. I'm not at liberty to prevent you.
Holmes. Mr. Holmes. You mean...
I mean, Dr. Sterndale, that my investigation has been independent of the official police. I have never loved a woman. But if I had, and the woman I loved had met such an end, well, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, Dr. Watson, that was a very strange and a very exciting adventure.
Well, thank you, Mr. Harris. Of course, you'll understand why I could not disclose this particular memoir until only recently.
Of course, Doctor. And now, Dr. Watson, what have we for next week?
Next week, Mr. Harris, I shall relate to you the adventure of the bloodstained goddess. It concerns a dead body found under the gaslight on Baker Street, a desperate band of Chinese fanatics, and a manhunt through the streets of Limehouse.
The makers of Clipper Craft clothes in more than 1,200 stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and the program is produced and directed by Basil Loughlin. Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by George Spelman. This week's story was written by Max Ehrlich, with special music by Albert Berman. If you don't know your Clipper Craft dealer, write Clipper Craft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next week to Sherlock Holmes in the adventure of the bloodstained goddess. This is Cy Harris speaking for Clipper Craft Clothes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, a pretty good adaptation, and certainly not without some challenges. The big challenge, of course, is the time is lessened. They have the entire show runs less than 25 minutes, and it's includes commercials in that, and they haven't really cut down on the commercials, so they did a good job. A little bit of melodrama on the acting from the supporting actor, but Holmes and Watson did fine. I think sometimes, when something's wrong with the series, it is easy to blame the actor because they're the public face of the show. But when they're given a good script, John Stanley does turn in a good performance here, and he illustrates that here. All right, well, listener comments and feedback now. Lexi says, I love your Sherlock Holmes podcast. They are good, and I'm a big fan of Holmes, so keep it up. And then thanks so much for that from Lexi. And Val says, shares a story. It's a press release, actually, for the release actually, it's past now, but on October 10th, the first female detective in British fiction will make a reappearance. It's the republication of the Andrew Forster's The Female Detective from 1864. And the original lady detective, it was named Miss Gladden. What's pretty interesting about that is that actually predates the publication of the first Sherlock Holmes story. And it definitely will be interesting as a historical oddity. I do know that some of the early detective stories were not particularly readable by today's standards, but if you pick up a copy and read it, let me know, or I might end up picking up a copy myself. That's The Female Detective by Andrew Forster, in print for the first time since 1864. And thanks so much for sharing, Val. All right, well, that'll do it for today. Join us back here tomorrow with yours truly, Johnny Dollar. And then a week from today, listen to Sherlock Holmes. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for your support, and I want to thank Anne Marie specifically. As we do with all donations of $7 or more, we'll be sending along access to our premium site, which contains all the extras we do for the apps, available for our listeners who don't have the Amazon store or the Apple iTunes store. All right, well, now it's time for today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, the Paul Gorrell matter. I should mention this marks the end of our third season. Next week, we begin season 4 of The Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. With that said, let's enjoy.
For your listening enjoyment, John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
George Post, Mr. Dollar. Did you have a good trip?
Oh, yeah, fine flight. It's good to change that New England weather for your Arizona sunshine.
I hope you feel that way after we've talked over this case. How much did they tell you in Hartford?
Well, my getting out here in a hurry seemed to be more important than details, so all I know about the robbery is what broke in the papers. A $100,000 payroll stolen and 2 guards killed.
Those are the basic points. The police have got no place with it in 2 days. But if you're willing to take one of the biggest gambles of your life, we may be able to crack it.
We'll return to our program in just a few moments. But first, someone once said, necessity is the mother of invention. In other words, every inventor feels that there is a definite need for whatever he invents. It may be as large as a battleship or as small as a pin. But someone, somewhere, will find a use for it. And just to make sure that no one tries to cash in on his invention, every inventor carefully takes out a patent or copyright on whatever it is that he has invented. Where does he go to get his patents or copyrights? Probably to the Department of Commerce, since that is the prime concern of the department. For example, suppose you invent a widget with 2 handles instead of 1. Well, this means, of course, a big boon to widget users because it can now be operated by left-handed as well as right-handed people. Having invented a 2-handled widget, you and your inventive genius should be protected. So you contact the Commerce Department and apply for a patent. The department also registers the trademarks and labels you use in selling 2-handled widgets so that no one else can claim he invented the 2-handled widget and collect the money that should be rightfully yours when you make and sell your particular type of widget. Now, suppose you also write a book on the history of the 2-handled widget or a song titled The Love Song of the 2-handled widget. You take them to the Department of Commerce and have them copyrighted. This way, you can always prove that the book and the song are your property. So if some foreign inventor suddenly appears with the startling announcement that his country claims the honor of having invented the 2-handled widget or the one-wheel doohickey, you can prove he is mistaken by producing the prior patent you have registered with the United States Department of Commerce.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Plymouth Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Paul Gorrell matter. Expense account item 1, $153. Airfare and incidentals between Hartford and Phoenix, Arizona. On the way from my hotel to the Plymouth offices, I noticed that the afternoon papers were front-paging a report of the local killing of an unidentified man. I learned shortly afterward that the murder had an important bearing on my own foreseeable future. The story about it was displayed prominently on the desk of George Post, Plymouth's chief adjuster in Phoenix, when I got to his office.
You say that all you know of this case is what you read in the Eastern papers?
Yeah, that's right, and as you probably know, there weren't many details.
Yes, being that far removed, of course. Here, it's been the worst crime in years. The killing of the two guards was needless.
They weren't putting up a fight?
No. They've been disarmed with standing with their backs to the killer. They were shot down because there were potential identifying witnesses.
Nobody else saw it?
Yeah. Story in the lower right-hand corner.
Oh, yeah, I saw the headlines on the way over. What about it?
This picture here, the dead man, Taliban. He was the only other witness.
And the paper doesn't say anything about it?
The papers don't know it, and the police don't know it. There were two men involved in the robbery. Palovic was one of them.
Well, you must have some big reason to hold this kind of information from the police.
I have. Palovic phoned me the morning after the robbery, and I met with him in secret that afternoon. He told me that he'd broken off with his partner in the affair, a man using the name of Paul Gorrell. He said there'd been an agreement between them that there'd be no shooting, but that in spite of it, Gorrell shot the guards down in cold blood.
Well, did you ask him why he didn't go to the police if he was so interested in clearing himself of the killings?
He said he was on parole, would face an automatic 20-year term if he went to them.
What did he expect from you?
Nothing. He said he'd been in trouble with the law most of his life, but that he'd never killed anybody. He claimed that all he wanted was to stop Gorrell from enjoying what he termed that blood money. He told me where Gorrell is and what his plans are.
Is Gorrell still in Phoenix?
Yes. And I know what you're going to say. That you still think it's a job for the police.
Well, with 3 murders to his credit, I sure do.
We decided to try it our way because their plan was to mail the money out of the state. Palovic was sure that Gorrell has already sent it, but didn't know where except that it was someplace in or near Los Angeles.
Uh-huh. Any idea how he's going to try to get out of town?
Yeah. It's one of those share the ride arrangements. You know, the kind that are advertised in the classified sections. This man is driving to Los Angeles and wanted passengers to share the expense and help with the driving.
Both of them were going in the same car?
Yeah.
And since Palovic isn't going, there's room for me, huh?
That's what I meant when I mentioned you're taking a gamble. There's no doubt that Gorrell is a completely ruthless killer. Now, will you go?
Well, I don't like it for a lot of obvious reasons. But I wouldn't like a reputation for turning down cases either. When do I leave? I understood why the company didn't want to involve the police. In their opinion, the chances were that more effort would be spent in apprehending the killer than in tracing down the money. But a big insurance company is one thing, and a private investigator working behind the law's back is another. And that was one thing I didn't like about the matter. Another that rang a little sour was Gorrell's choice of getaway method. The police admittedly had no witnesses and therefore no description. Yet Gorrell was avoiding public transportation. It made me wonder if somebody else could be looking for him. And still another thing. Gorrell would be in control of the situation. I wouldn't. I couldn't even afford the luxury of a gun for fear the bulge would arouse suspicion. The owner of the car for the trip was a Mr. Bovey, and I phoned him from post office.
Couldn't have read it in today's paper, Mr. Dollar. I canceled my ad last evening.
Well, I clipped the ad a day or so ago when it wasn't definite about my going to the coast. I hope you have room for me.
Well, I'm afraid I don't. I already have 2 gentlemen and a lady.
Oh, but it's a sedan, isn't it? 5-passenger?
Yes, but 5 is too many. Uncomfortable for my people.
You're sure that all your people are still going?
I haven't heard to the contrary.
Well, you can't tell about people. Suppose we leave it this way. I'll come out to your house in the morning. If there's room for me, I'll go. If there isn't, I won't. Is that okay?
Well, if you want to take a chance, but don't expect to crowd in, I know from experience 5 is too many.
All right, Mr. Bovey. I'll see you in the morning then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I suppose that was the only way to handle it. But how is Gorrell going to react to your being there?
No, I don't think it'll change things. A guy on his spot is going to be suspicious of everybody anyway. At 9 the next morning, I arrived at Bovey's address in a Phoenix suburb. He left me in a seedy living room while he put his luggage in a car that was parked at the curb in front of the house. And a minute after he came back in, the doorbell rang, and he let Gorrell in.
Just leave your luggage by the door, Mr. Gorrell. Your friend, he's not with you.
Brother came up. Some business deal, so he couldn't come.
But why didn't he let me know?
Yes, he figured I would, because I made all the arrangements with you. And all the time I thought he'd call.
Well, Mr. Dollar, did you hear that?
Yeah, looks like I'm in luck.
This is Mr. Gorrell.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Mr. Dollar came this morning just on the chance that this might happen, so there'd be room for him.
What, that somebody wouldn't show up? You must be psychic or something.
Oh, no. Guy's got to get the breaks once in a while.
Well, you two get acquainted while I pack.
You, live here in Phoenix?
No, I'm from the East. Connecticut.
You travel all the way out here this way? I mean, in people's cars like this?
Not all the way.
I think I'll go outside, see what's going on. I don't want Bovey scratching my bag up.
Nothing except two cold blue eyes that moved around too much would have given him away for what he was. The rest of his makeup, thin, triangular face, blonde hair, and slightly stooped figure would have made him unnoticed in any company. By the time I followed him outside, the fourth member of our party had arrived. She was a not unattractive brunette wearing harlequin sunglasses that made her look frightened. I wondered how she'd look if she knew who her traveling companions were.
This is Mr. Shelton and Mr. Dollar.
Miss Shelton?
Hi.
We're all loaded.
All right, then we're ready. Now, how shall we arrange how you sit? Does anyone care?
Yeah, how about I take my turn driving first? I drove a cab for a while, and I know some quick ways out of town.
Well, that's fine. Miss Shelton, will you sit in the back with Mr. Dollar? I'd like to ride in front in my own car.
It's all right with me. Thank you, Mr. Dollar.
The starter's right there, Mr. Gorrell.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, now, I'd say we got a nice early start. Which way are you going, Mr. Gorrell? North on Mission Drive?
That's right. Turn off on Northern and hit the highway. That's that long stretch of traffic out towards Peoria.
Yes, but now, this is out of the way.
It just seems like it. You leave it to me. I know this town like a book.
Whether Gorrell was missing some roadblocks that I knew nothing about, I couldn't be sure. But I wasn't sure his back road way out of town was working either. As we pulled away from Bovey's house, I glanced up the block and saw a green coupe nose into the street behind us.
You know this neighborhood, Dollar?
No, never been through it. Why?
The way you were looking around. You were trying to spot an old landmark or something.
Well, just trying to memorize my way back in case you get lost.
You don't trust me? You want I should pull over so you can drive?
Please, Mr. Gorrell, he didn't mean anything like that. He was only making a joke.
What's the matter with him that it's sore about a thing like that?
What did you say, lady? I didn't quite catch it.
You weren't supposed to catch it. I must say, this trip is off to a dandy start with you snapping everybody's head off.
Please, there's no reason for it to be unpleasant. We've got a long way to go.
That evening, with Bovey driving, we were approaching Blythe on the California border when the car began to heat up. By the time we found a garage on the outskirts of town, it was almost dark. The report from the mechanic was that the water pump had gone, but he couldn't get a replacement until morning. I expected an outburst from Gorrell because of the delay, and I was surprised at his reaction to Bovey's apology.
I just don't know what to say. I had the car gone over yesterday, and they told me everything was fine.
Not your fault, Mr. Bovey. Nobody could see inside that pump.
Oh, but I'm so sorry about the delay.
Nobody's worried about me.
For me, I'm glad it happened. I had enough of the road.
And I could use a good night's sleep. Well, I don't feel so bad then. The mechanic said the motor court in the next block is a nice place. Shall we go look at it?
Why not?
Might as well.
All right, come along then.
Wait a minute.
What's the
What,
matter?
Mr. Gorrell?
When they get on the inside, I can't let them see me.
He wanted to run as the green coupe slowly came abreast of us, but he didn't. I expected gunfire, but none came. Only the beam of a flashlight that held briefly on Gorrell and then snapped off. I spotted two men in the coupe as it rolled away from us. Then I turned with Bovey and the girl to see how Gorrell would explain himself.
Sorry. Thought it was somebody I knew. Somebody I didn't feel like talking to just now.
He didn't realize how lame the excuse was. I didn't think the others saw it, but from where I stood, I watched his hand streak for the automatic he wore under his arm. It was an instinctive move that he wasn't even aware of making. But from a man who had been relaxed and confident of a getaway, he'd turned back into an unpredictable killer.
You know, many great men have attained the highest office in our land, the presidency of the United States. Can you guess the name of this man? The presidency was the first and only public office he ever held. He never went to school, but was taught at home by a tutor. Like his father, he also became a military man and remained in the service until his nomination to the presidency in 1848. He was the second and last member of the Whig Party to become president. If you don't have his name by now, here's another clue. During his presidency, gold was discovered in California. Who was he? Zachary Taylor, 12th President of the United States. His life is part of your American heritage.
And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
I wanted to report the whole thing to the local police. If I had, I might have prevented a lot of trouble. But I didn't. We checked into the motor court, and about 20 minutes later, Gorrell showed up at my room.
Has Wolfie been to see you?
Why, no.
The Dane?
No.
I figured they might on account of that performance I put on out there. The truth is, I got in some trouble in Phoenix, and my nerves aren't so good.
That's okay. I'm not curious.
Yeah, well, I didn't want you to think I'm nuts or anything like that. I thought maybe you could tell the others. Yeah, I wouldn't want Bobby to dump me out of the trip. I haven't got enough to get to L.A. any other way. But look at this wallet. See? A single and one pin. That's my stake.
That's running pretty close. I wish I could help you out.
No, I'm not making a touch. I can scrape up some when I hit L.A., but... well, I'd like it if you told the others.
It's up to you.
Yeah, you see, I got into a card game with these two guys in Phoenix. I was drinking. I let the stakes get higher than I should have, and I lost more than I could pay. So, I ran out on them.
Those were the men that drove by?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were.
Well, if they followed you this far, don't you think they'll follow you the rest of the way?
I don't know. Say, you got anything lined up out there?
Oh, nothing definite. Why?
Well, if they're still on me, maybe I could use some help getting things straightened out, you know? I'd make it worth your while.
What kind of help?
I will see how things stack up when we get there. Anybody that travels like this could use a few extra bucks. You can't get me there.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. You tell Bogey and the Dame what I said. And then maybe you and me can give each other a hand.
Maybe. Well, I'll see you in the morning. I hear we're going to get an early start. It was about 4 p.m. when the share of the ride trip ended on a street corner in downtown Los Angeles. Bovey drove away, the Shelton girl disappeared in the crowds, and Gorrell and I took a cab.
The Twins Hotel on Spring Street. Right, get in, Dollar. Here's how it is. Before I left Phoenix, I shipped some of my stuff. Clothes, personal papers, and some cash that I didn't want to carry. You know, you can't tell what kind of people you're going to run into, travel and share the ride like we did.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Now, you see, if I get that suitcase, I can pay off. And these guys will have to leave me alone. But the way things are, I got an idea they'd beat my head off if they caught up with me. So it would be worth $25 if you go get that suitcase and bring it to me.
Oh, that sounds simple enough. I figured his pitch was based on desperation rather than stupidity. He knew he was still being followed, or he never would have trusted a stranger with $100,000 that had already been worth 3 killings. And his letting me get this close to it made me wonder whether the 4th killing wasn't already in his mind. We We both checked into the Prince Hotel, and in his room, he gave me the express receipt I'd need to pick up the suitcase. I left him and made my first stop at a phone booth. I called the police, told them my story, and arranged to meet a plainclothes sergeant from homicide a block away from the express office.
Your name, Dollar?
That's right.
I'm Sergeant Mason. I don't know what to make of this story of yours.
Well, that's just why I asked if you could meet me. I want you on hand when I deliver that suitcase.
How come you didn't check with the Phoenix boys before you left? You like to stick your neck out, or you got some other reason?
I told the lieutenant it was the company's idea, not mine.
Ah. You got some identification?
Yeah. Here you are.
Yeah, okay, Dollar. But I don't go for you private boys that play at lone wolf till it gets too hot and then yell for us. I'll go along because I've been ordered to. But don't think I'm eager.
I gathered that. I took delivery of the suitcase without a hitch. Sergeant Mason was waiting halfway down the block when I came out with it. He trailed me back to the Prince Hotel and waited while I went ahead into the lobby. I got to Gorrell's floor, and when the sergeant was a few steps behind me, knocked on the door. Gorrell? Gorrell? It's Dollar.
Try the door. Well?
I'll take a look in there. Well, his stuff's still here. There's no sign of a struggle.
No sign of anything. Do you have any idea how empty the story of yours sounds, Dollar?
Yeah, I suppose it does. But how about coming to my room? We'll get this suitcase open.
Well, not with me there. If you'd played it level with the Phoenix police and we had a go-ahead from them, yes. But I've got no right to break into somebody's personal property on your say-so.
You're leaving?
That's right. If your story's true, I feel sorry for you. I'd hate to be playing it alone. But officially, you've given me nothing but a trip across town and some talk. I gotta have witnesses and evidence to work with. If you come up with some, just call the department.
I hope the company will remember Sergeant Mason's procedure the next time there's a choice between working with the police or without them. He had every right to walk out, and when he did, this is what he left me with. A, the obvious possibilities involving the suitcase and whoever was after it, and B, the fact that returning to Phoenix with the money and without Gorrell would put me in the light of aiding and abetting the escape of a murderer. It was then 6 o'clock. I checked Gorrell's suitcase at a bus station a short distance away. Then I grabbed a quick sandwich and went back to my room to wait. At 7:45, there was a knock on my door.
Aren't you going to invite me in?
Oh, sure. Sorry. You knocked me off balance a little. Come on in, Miss Shelton.
Thank you. I don't suppose there'd be a chance that you just listen to me without asking any questions and then do what I tell you to.
What would you tell me to do?
Pack up and get out of here. Out of town would be better.
Why?
Because without knowing it, you've got yourself mixed up with some bad people.
Who do you mean, Gorrell?
Yeah.
What about him? I didn't realize you knew him.
I don't. I didn't. Look, you have to ask questions.
Well, I'm sure not going to pack up and move out of here just because you show up with some crazy talk about bad people.
Well, it's true. Gorrell was trying to use you to save his own skin. Did you go after a suitcase for him?
Yeah, but I didn't get it to him. He wasn't in his room when I got back.
I know that. Some men came after him. The same ones that we saw in Blythe. They might have killed him by now. And they're liable to kill you, too.
Where did you get all this?
Just believe me that it's true and get out of here. I can't say any...
It's Gorrell.
Don't wait a minute, please.
I'll be right there. You get in there.
Please.
What happened to you?
Well, I'm paying for my suitcase. Sure.
Wait.
Gorrell.
Is he dead?
No, not yet. Get my coat off the bed so I can stretch him out.
Well, maybe you'll believe me. I gotta get out of here.
Oh, no, you don't.
Look, I didn't have to come here to warn you. I was trying to do you a favor. Is this what I get for it?
I'm sorry, but I can't let you go. Not with a man dying of gunshot wounds in my room. I've got to have some answers for the police. And it looks like you're the only one who can give them to me.
I was roped into it like you. I didn't know what it was all about.
But you do now?
Yeah, and I don't want any part of it. Two guys I knew in Phoenix paid me $200 to take the trip from Phoenix and follow Gorrell when we got here. I was broke, and they said it was only a gag of some kind, so I took them up on it.
Those the two guys in the coupe?
Yeah. Then when they got to Gorrell tonight, and I heard them talking about robbery and killing, it began to catch on. They were the ones that pulled that payroll robbery in Phoenix.
You didn't know till then?
I sure didn't. Look, I'm no angel, but I'd never have anything to do with this kind of business.
Now, what's the rest of it?
Well, there were four of them that planned it, but Gorrell tried to get away with the money by himself. They mentioned something about a phone call from somebody named Polavic. Well, that's all I know.
Uh-huh. When they had Gorrell tonight, they were trying to find out where the suitcase was?
Oh, that's right. They were hitting him and saying they'd kill him. But all he'd say was that somebody else had it. I figured it was you, and that's why I came. I tried to help you. Now, how about it? Can I go?
Yeah. And you'd better take the same advice you gave me. Go and keep going. You know too much about this mess. After she left, I called Sergeant Mason in the emergency hospital. Gorrell was still unconscious when I opened the door about 15 minutes later. I assumed it would be Mason, but it wasn't.
Back in the room, Dollar. I've got you.
Is he dead? He's close to it. Did that automatic put him where he is?
Stay out of what's none of your business, and you won't get some of the same.
Gorrell made it my business. He talked before he passed out.
That's too bad. Did he tell you he chalked up another killing to his credit tonight?
Oh, I guess he forgot that. The one who came with you from Phoenix?
A friend of mine. We've lost two of them over this, so don't you try to play it smart. You know what I'm here for.
You can look the place over. You won't find the suitcase.
You picked it up. Where is it?
Look in the top right drawer of the bureau.
Why?
Go ahead. You'll find a claim check in there. Nobody can get the suitcase without it.
This don't say where it is. Where did you leave it?
It's in a bus station. If you leave by the rear door, you go down the alley to...
You keep quiet. Quiet.
Harris.
Shut up, I'll kick.
Come on in, Sergeant.
Any chance? Huh? Which one's which?
That's Gorrell on the bed.
I guess he won't live long enough to profit by this. I hope you will.
What?
No matter what side of the law you're on, don't pay to play at lone wolf like he was and like you were. Level with the police next time, huh?
Yeah. I'll remember that. Expense account item 2, $63.80. Miscellaneous between Los Angeles and Phoenix. Item 3, same as item 1, transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total, $369.80. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Welcome back. What a great episode. What a great way to end our third season. There's so much I love about this episode. There's some minor elements, like the whole rideshare thing. I've, in our recent age, of course, you can find these sort of ads on Craigslist. I've considered them as kind of discount options, but then I've kind of had that wonder, well, how do you get back? But here it kind of becomes adventurous, mysterious, and tense. But more than that, I thought it was an incredible story in terms of just the overall thick of it. As I've mentioned before, Johnny Dollar can almost seem to work too closely with the police sometimes compared to some of the other private detectives, and even to some of the Bob Bailey Johnny Dollar episodes. Here we get to see what happens when he's forced to really not work with the police, to kind of work outside law enforcement channels and what results from it. And the turns the story takes, I think, are just fascinating. It's just very different from the traditional Johnny Dollar story. And I think this is probably the best of the John Lunn versions that we've heard. There may have been a couple Edmund O'Brien episodes that were better, but this one is tops as far as that goes. Suspense, drama, excitement, twists and turns around every bend. So, love this particular episode. Well, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. Val says, I was listening to you yesterday on the dog walk you often accompany and heard your solution to the broadcasting the 5-part episodes. It made me realize I had an alternate solution. Over here we have omnibus radio broadcasts. So for example, a program can be on for 15 minutes a day, such as The Archers, and then a full omnibus edition is broadcast separately. Val writes, of course, best since from London, says a solution might have been to broadcast 15 episodes every Monday to Thursday after your normal podcast, so people can stop the podcast if they don't want to hear Johnny Dollar, and then play the full omnibus edition on Johnny Dollar Day, sometimes known as Friday. Of course, knowing you did already consider and reject, knowing you already considered and rejected this model, but I'd say it works very well over here, where we still have quite a tradition of radio drama. Nothing more to add. Still loving Johnny Dollar and George, and also Frank Race, but in particular, the Fat Man is just great. Best wishes from London. Val. Well, thanks so much, Val. I had not thought of the omnibus format, and it's an interesting idea. Of course, as we don't have a separate podcast, I make it a little hard to separate it out. I might think of doing that with the extras. There is a gentleman who has bundled the radio programs, cut out a lot of the excess bridges, because because each episode was kind of meant to be complete in itself. But he cut out a lot of the extra breaks in between shows, theme music, etc., and kind of formed them into some sort of omnibus collection. He hasn't done it with all of them. He's got a goal to get them all done next year, so probably won't all be done by the time we start podcasting, but I might think of doing that as an extra for some of our listeners who might just want to listen to all 5 episodes all together. So I'll keep that in mind. Thanks so much. And I should say, the UK definitely, which I do sometimes think that, we just had that 30th anniversary of the end of old time radio. And I've heard some folks, overstate, what it meant. Some people have said that it was the end of radio drama. Not really. It wasn't the end in the United States. Certainly there have been a lot of talented people who have carried on not only through the radio revival shows of the 1970s here in the United States. Certain religious radio dramas continued unabated for many years. In fact, one, Unshackled, began in 1950 and continues to broadcast to this day. And of course, overseas, radio drama has not gone away at all. I often find myself taking a listen to some of the radio dramas that are on BBC Radio 4 and BBC Radio 4 Extra. So radio drama definitely still alive in many parts of the world. All right, well, we will see you on Monday as we start our 4th season. Join us for the adventures of Frank Race, and then back here on Friday for another adventure of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. In the meanwhile, send your comments to box13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and call us 208-991-4783. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.